test the connection. Didn't we have weird connection issues last year?
Probably.
One of the last few years. Excellent connection. One of the last few years. Hey! Alright, you two, give me some talking.
Test, 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 test.
Brower, if you open up that link that I texted you guys, I can make you a mod if you comment on it. So just comment, like, hello, or something.
Testing, testing. Toe for testing.
Toe for test.
It'll just be like my Christopher Brower YouTube account, but whatever. That's okay, right?
It's whatever one you want.
You two give me
mod,
some
yeah.
Test, 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 test.
Okay, so you're definitely louder.
Brower, if you open up that link that I texted you guys, I can make you a mod if you comment on it. So just comment, like, hello.
It'll just be like my Christopher Brower YouTube account.
So there's definitely lag in the webcam, but you know what? I can
Man,
reach this.
you have to have 100K to get verified, right?
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Is this? That's not gonna reach. Oh, it's actually really close. So there's definitely lag in the
You have to have 100K to get verified, right?
You're just like completely hidden.
You literally can't. I'm always hidden every year.
You're even in a different spot. You're still
The
hidden.
mysterious Brower. He's back there.
I'm always hidden every year.
In my race against time,
Okay. In theory, we'll have a less laggy camera. In fact, yeah, it does look a little smoother.
Charlie, actually, will you make my... Oh, I'm already a mod. I have a wrench.
Good.
So I'm good, right?
Yes. Stream's bitrate is different. Yeah, there are 2 other people using rooms tonight, so if they're particularly loud, Eric said just go to make sure the door is closed, and then, like, other than that, I just gotta deal with it.
Alright.
Okay. I'm gonna turn my Wi-Fi off on this in hopes that the camera stays.
Can you see the TV? Can you see anything? I'm on your way.
I can see it.
I have a small one.
You do. They're talking about infotainment systems out there. Very on brand. See if they want to join us.
Yeah.
Very on brand.
Guys, this is our 4th year doing this.
Wow.
It's only my
Third.
second year though, I think.
3rd, probably. Oh, did we do it with Tedward twice in a row?
You guys did it with
2020, 2021, 2022.
Because I know it was you, me, and Tedward the first year.
that was 2020 because you guys picked the LC500.
Yeah.
I was here when we picked the Civic and the Kona N. But
No, yeah, I think he's right. I don't think we did it in
21, you guys you didn't even do it in 21?
Oh, this is like our 3rd time here at Groves. Grove.
Is it?
What did we pick and what was car of the year in 21?
We've done Civic, Kona N, and
Oh,
LC.
it's 2023.
Yeah.
So you guys this is our 4th one then.
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
said.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I've been here for 2 of the 3. Why didn't we call
2020 was
Tedward
in
in
my basement.
with a plant between you guys?
That's right.
You guys streamed it on Winding Road.
Yeah.
Oh, we did? Wow.
Yeah.
Engagement was not super high. A lot of people like tuned in, but then just
People were like,
back up.
"Who
Who are
is
these
this?"
people?
Who are these people that are more than just hands and wrists?
Right.
Who are you people?
SpongeBob.
Thank you for getting that.
Charlie, what phone is that?
It is the Pixel 8 Pro.
You like it?
Overall, yes. It's my iPhone and my Samsung were much less buggy, but the camera on this is fantastic.
It looks really good.
And it's in general, Androids are better to multitask with. Like things just happen in fewer taps. But I had the new 15 Pro for a few weeks too, and it was quite good. But you know, it's no big surprise. The thing that's been big for this is the ultra wide angle is 48 megapixel, whereas the iPhone ultra wide is 12.
Okay.
So you know, it's not crazy different, but it's enough that when you're shooting, you know, into car interiors and then the lighting sort of drops, you can just get kind of a higher.
How do you go through so many phones?
Like how is it? How do I pay for it, or how is it
or
like
just like
frustrating wise?
like how do you like just like go? You like have a new phone every time I see you,
I had that iPhone 13 mini for a while.
but like the 15 and then this. The 15 just came out.
Yeah, I bought it right away and I just returned it to the Apple
okay.
Store because I just wanted to try it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, let me set up one more thing and then we should be about ready to go, guys. I was talking to Forrest over at Forrest Auto Reviews this past weekend. He picked up the 15 Pro and the video camera straight up doesn't work.
Oh my god.
Like he goes to the camera mode and it just doesn't switch over to video cam.
I've heard it's really buggy.
I felt
Mine's
bad
fine.
for him.
Chris is
You got a 15 Pro?
Yeah.
Nice.
15 Pro Max.
When did you get that?
A few weeks ago.
Nice.
It's a write-off.
Exactly. It's 30% cheaper. All right. Camera looks a little strange. Amos just looks a little extended. I think we're gonna send it. Like a little warp.
It's a little
But
extended.
we're not gonna be in
Extendo Topher.
full face mode. very
Extendifer.
often.
Extendifer.
So once I do this. Oh, okay. I think we're about good, guys. So we're going to make the stream public soon. Stream's bitrate is not fantastic, but can I dial its quality back a little bit?
ABC Topher's a little better.
Streaming bitrate. All right, yeah, we're just gonna have to.
What's up with this new GR86 with all the stickers on it? Is that some special thing?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know.
This one. It looks like the AE86.
Oh yeah, it's probably like the Trueno edition or something.
Trueno, yeah. Yep, you're literally right. It's called the Trueno edition.
Pulled that out of my bottom. Should I not have the Corona in shot?
No, I think you're fine. We're not driving.
Can I have any beer you want as long as it's a Corona?
You weren't feeling any Canadian beer, Chris?
They didn't have it. I went to 2 places.
Wow, dedication.
Yeah.
I just figured since I'm closer to Canada tonight than I am Mexico, I would go with that one. But
Yeah, I tried.
Charlie
Okay.
has to remind us that he lives in California.
you guys ready?
Ready as I've ever been.
Charlie's going under the headphones, and we
Mine are so loud. Can you make them
are live.
less loud? That
Yeah, I
would
think
be.
you're 4. Is that quieter
That's
now?
me. Yep, perfect. A little louder.
A little louder.
Yep, that's good.
I guess you might as well.
Yeah.
Welcome, one and all to Daily Motor Best of the Year 2023. Oh, do we still have buttons on here? I don't remember. That's not it. I think someone has amended our clap button. Hey! There we go. I wonder if the Daily Motor theme song is still.
Oh, Kirk
still
Rifles
on
is
here.
here.
Hey, Kirk, what's up?
Kirk.
Kirk Rifles.
Kirk. Oh, I need to mute this. We're going to get probably some echoing going on here. Take that down.
We're just trying to figure out this darn fangled technology.
Yeah, today has been a bit craziness. I am not in California right now.
Oh my gosh.
Back here with the boys.
Somebody start a tally for how many times Charlie says California.
Oh my goodness. You're
Drink.
just jealous. Yeah, it could be a drinking game.
Sip of my chai latte every time. Yeah.
Right. No, I came out to do this with the guys, and it turned out to be a good call. So we're here. For any of you who are new to this setup, we've got the Daily Motor Best of the Year bracket, And that is posted live. If you'd like to fill out your own, feel free to head over to the channel's community page, whatever.
It's fun. I
And,
didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I made it public so that people could download their own if they want and fill it out and decide which car they think is the best that we drove for 2023. But we're going to go through and figure out what the best car is. And best is always a weird kind of decision in our world because there's so many reasons why somebody would buy a car. But you'd be surprised how often people just walk up to us and say, you know, what car should I buy, and give us nothing else about their life situation or what sort of things they like. And sometimes you got to have an answer on the spot. So tonight we should have our answer.
Yep.
Kirk, last year it was the Hyundai Kona N.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should own a Hyundai Kona.
Chris's mic isn't on.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's quiet at least. Chris, tell us more. Tell us what the car was before the Hyundai Kona.
I don't remember, but I think it was actually the Honda Civic.
How are you not on? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can kind of hear myself a little bit, but
Yeah, just through our mics.
yeah.
Are you plugged?
Plugged in.
Plugged. Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are your headphones.
Is his mic
Oh,
plugged in?
Check. All right, I'm definitely 1.
It's the one that's wiggly.
Give me some taps on your mic, Chris. There we go. All right, so you're just really... All right, talk. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, the exciting thing about this is that we don't really
Yeah.
know what the best car of the year is going to be
That's good.
yet because we have to go through the bracket. They have to battle it out.
Yeah. I think maybe someone just like really adjusted the EQ on your mic a lot, Chris. So you're just going to have to get real up close and personal
That's
with us.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, the year
Used to
before
making out
that,
with this mic.
Honda Civic. That was a pretty easy one. The Civic was new for that year, and it was fantastic. So much so that you purchased one, and so did Tedward.
Yep.
And then the car before that, LC500. So we'll wait until one of us picks one of those up. It'll be Brower in 20 years.
They're in like the 60s right now.
Amos keeps telling me to buy one.
They've dropped. I think maybe we'll split one in a couple of years.
All right,
when
yeah.
they're like 35.
If my channel keeps trending,
Yeah.
maybe we'll be able to afford it.
I'm just dropping.
Emily says she can't hear
Can't hear Amos. Oh yeah, because we might be able to hear him more because of like.
because we're in here. Yeah.
Chris and I might just have to share.
Yeah. I mean,
Wait, why can't you just try taking this mic over there?
I'm like extra loud now.
That should be mic number 2.
Mr. Meows, hello. Sanjeeb, hello.
I did something.
Well, that mic is definitely live.
Okay.
Go for it.
Is this good?
Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah. Something with mic 3, not having it there.
Okay.
Now we can just
All right.
rest on the other mic.
Yeah, we're just doing that.
Hey, there we
And
go.
Brower is even more lost behind cables and wires. And
That's
cords
right.
now.
I'm just a mirage.
Well, much like the videos, the POVs, you just need to hear us. So without any further ado,
this is
let's
fine.
hop right on in to the bracket for 2023.
What's up, Holden?
There we
What's
go.
up, Bart?
We need to come up here and no. Go.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm very excited by that first slide that just popped up.
All right, so the 2023 Daily Motor Best of the Year bracket. The main criteria we try to go off of here for a good car is, I like to stick with 3 points. 1, how does it drive? Very important to us. 2, how would it be to own? And 3, how well does it fit its mission? So that's why we've had winners like LC500, Kona N, and Civic, because all 3 of those cars did what they were supposed to do very well, are enjoyable to drive, and would be enjoyable to own. And it also might be why American cars have not won yet. American cars or German cars, because the ownership experience isn't always positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Corvette got pretty far one year.
Yeah, Bronco got pretty far too last year.
They did,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. BMW X5 definitely up there. So we're gonna jump right on in here. I tried to organize them a little bit brackety in that cars that I thought would have a better chance are typically higher seeds, and cars that are lower chances are lower seeds. It's not always, doesn't always work that way. And I also tried to kind of keep the 4 quadrants a little bit on brand with each other. So like general cars,
That's nice.
exotics, luxury. Things like that.
Redline, Alex, Venustiano. Thank you guys for hanging out.
All right. First one up, BMW M3 and M4 versus the Jaguar F-Type R. I'd go Jag.
Chris is going to go Jag too, so I don't even
The
have to
M3
say
is
mine.
fantastic. And if Jeff, if you're watching from BMW, because he said he might.
M3 CS would
We've
have
driven
my vote.
so many M3s and M4s. I feel bad. but
Well, I mean, the M3 CS is one of the best M3s I've ever driven. The only problem with the M3 is I like the M2, the way it drives, better. But the problem is that's against the GT4 RS on the bracket. So sorry, BMW. I think since the F-Type R, it's just so good. The
It's got
F-Type is
character.
awesome.
It's got soul.
I love the F-Type.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. And it was featured in the DM Rally. That was already a year and a half ago. Goodness.
Yep.
All right. So we're taking F-Type.
Actually, both of those cars were, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you
how
can't
forgettable
really
they
buy
are
an
for 'em.
M3 CS. They've all been sold.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
And there's one less now, too.
The Bentley Bentayga versus the Lamborghini Huracan. And we've actually collectively driven three different types of Huracans between the three of us. So you've driven just STO. Not a bad problem to have. Kind of
No.
like your Porsche 911 experience.
I know.
You're
I just
starting at
always
the
go
top.
backwards.
Yeah. And you've driven the Technica on track
Quite extensive.
and in the
Yeah,
canyons, and then the STO here.
Exactly.
I've driven the STO, the Technica, and now the Storado.
You've driven a base, too, haven't you?
I'm very jealous of your
Who drove the
Storado
base
time.
on Winding? Someone was driving a base model Huracan on Winding Road like 10
Really?
years ago. Who was that?
No, it must
None
have
of
been
us,
one
I
of
guess.
one of
Oh,
the-
that was me. I forgot.
Okay, there you
Sorry.
go. I was like, what?
It just
That was
wasn't
me
this-
in LA. Yeah.
Okay, so we've driven yeah. How was the Storado? Was it cool?
It's cool, but the STO and the Technica were cooler.
Huh.
The Storado is it's more usable, but it kind of takes some of the thrill away from it. I mean, the V10 is still awesome, but once it's just loud for a while, you kind of get, you get, I'm not going to say tired of it, but you just get used to it.
Sure.
The Bentayga, I was a bit underwhelmed by, except for the speed that I drove briefly. But I don't think that makes up for the rest of the car.
I liked the Bentayga, but it just felt like an Audi Q7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
It
that's
actually
cliche,
didn't
but
feel as nice as the Audi Q7.
That's-
I was colossally disappointed with the Bentayga.
so clear win there for the
Yeah.
Huracan.
Okay. Here we go.
Ooh, the Mach 20.
The Maserati MC20 versus the BMW XM. Now, I have not driven the XM label like you two have.
Ah,
And you
It's
also
better.
both had more time in the MC20. So this is more going to be a you guys decision.
I mean,
But I would think XM.
I was gonna go the other way.
Really?
I grew to really love the MC20, the red one we had.
I
It
bonded
felt a
with that
lot more
MC20.
dialed
Did you
in. The white one in California was just kind of a mess.
We were also on brand new roads and weird driving situations.
That's
and
true,
stuff.
but
I think the tires were heat cycled out on that white car. we
yeah,
drove.
it had
Wow.
no grip. The red one actually was drivable. The red one that we could push, and it was way more confidence inspiring.
Well, since the XM was one of my least favorite cars of the year, I did like the label red that we drove. That was actually
Yeah.
It's
very impressive.
no longer label red. Chris.
label, just label.
Just label.
That's right.
Which is the silliest name, and on that, in and of itself, it should probably lose because of the
Yeah.
syllable.
Yeah.
I liked the XM
MC,
label. though.
MC20, we cruised Woodward on it during
Did you
Dream
really?
Cruise. I spent a
Ooh.
lot of time in that car. We put some miles on it. It was
I
awesome.
didn't. He did.
Yeah.
So MC20.
What was I doing?
Definitely Mach 20.
What
were you
was
doing?
I driving?
You were
that
probably
week?
driving something else cool.
Yeah. What else did we have that week? The F-Type.
Yeah.
I drove the
Oh, yeah.
F-Type.
Oh, the
to Woodward.
75, yeah.
Yeah. That was
The
a good week.
R75. I filmed a video on that and nobody watched it.
The BMW Z4 M40i versus the Nissan Z. Brower, did you see that they are maybe I put this in the group chat, but they're doing an manual version
Yeah.
of the Z4?
Yeah, I saw that.
It might be car.
I
of the
The
love
year.
the
automatic's
8-speed,
still going to be
though.
better.
Yeah.
Though, you know that, right?
Yeah, but if you want to just be a menace and just be, not precise, but just kind of having fun, the manual might be a good car.
Maybe
Yeah.
BMW will tune out the rev hang that the Super didn't.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I would pick the Z4.
Yeah, me too.
I have not cared for have either of you driven the Nismo Z yet?
No.
We sat in it and revved it.
We
Does
did.
that count?
You got a lot of views revving it, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we just haven't had a chance.
All right. Well, Steve.
The Z4 is I would buy that.
It was a big surprise this year.
Yeah.
Because I did not care for the previous, like earlier Z4s.
That is maybe one of the only cars on this list that we all love.
Yeah, I put like 800 miles on it. I took it to Peoria and back, and it was a great grand tour. Ate up the miles. Besides when the top was up, it rattled really bad. But apart from that, just, turn the music up and forget about it. But
And it was purple. My wife loved it.
Thunder Night.
Thunder Night Metallic.
Yeah, Charlotte was a big fan. I remember her really liking
Maybe
it.
she could have one someday.
Someday when they depreciate a bunch.
They will.
Yep.
Supra versus Porsche 911. I this year have only driven the Carrera T or just T. Maybe they got rid of Carrera from
I've
that
driven
911T. You guys also
We
had a
drove a base.
normal base 911, right? It's a weird year of 911s because the last few years we had Turbo S's and GT3s.
We needed to drive the base cars though.
Yeah, grounded a bit. I really liked that green one we had out in California.
The 911T was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really
Was the
good.
base car good?
That
too?
car was spoiled for me by the
Yeah.
GT4 RS though, because it was just so much better.
Yeah, the base car was good too.
Okay.
The only thing is they all have the exact same door rattle. Passenger door, extremely loud rattle.
Okay.
The GT3, every 911 I drove but the turbo had that rattle. We also drove, I drove 911s at Pekla.
Oh,
Porsche Experience
yeah. I
in
guess we
LA.
did. We drove a
Turbo
Turbo
S.
S
Drove
there.
Yeah.
the Turbo S around. That was one of the most fun things I've ever done. That was awesome.
So you guys also took a Supra on a road trip.
We did. You know,
Mhm.
I like the Supra a lot, but I never like bonded and really fell in love with that, especially the manual.
Okay.
It's an awesome car, and I think you would enjoy it, but it's hard to look at seriously with like the Camaro SS1 LE.
There's a
out there
lot of
still.
other good two-seat
There's
options.
so many other good cars at that price point.
Yeah.
M2.
And you're not even getting Toyota reliability because it's a BMW.
Well, you're getting BMW reliability, which is Toyota approved now.
Is it?
It's the B58.
If they're going to approve any powertrain, I guess it would be that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I would go 911.
So 911 as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Chris, would you be interested in, or one of you, Chris's, in just making sure their doors are shut out there?
Mm.
And if they're not, just politely asking them, letting them know that we're streaming.
I kind of like it. It's a good vibe. in the
Yeah,
background.
it's different vibe than last year.
Doors are shut.
Okay, all right. Well, we're just gonna have some background music. You know, that's fine. As long as they don't copy strike us, then
I
it's not a big
highly
deal.
doubt anything being played in here is copyright.
Not yet, but you know, when people are watching
Someday,
this back
yeah.
in 4 years,
That's right.
and they're
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
heard it here first. We that would then have the copyright because we streamed it first.
I feel like every time we're here, there's a band playing.
Kudos to Grove Studios, where we're recording. He did email me right away and let me know that there were other bands. Like, you know, he was like, they're going to be playing again this year.
It's a vibe. Yeah, Kirk,
Yeah.
I agree. Keep the background music.
Okay, moving along. BMW M2 or GT4 RS. Now, I did not love the M2. You have. You like it.
I spent a lot of time in the M2 on the street, on the track. At first, I hated it. Then I
Okay.
loved it. It's really, really fun to drive.
Mm.
It's so ugly, but it's really fun to drive. And the GT4 RS is better. So we should probably pick that.
The only downside to the GT4 RS is the fact no one can buy one.
I know.
That is
it's a
really
bummer.
unfortunate. Yeah.
But you could also
But
just
it's
get
fantastic.
a Cayman and take the engine cover off. And it sounds just like a GT4 RS.
So, Daily Motor Car of the Year, a Cayman without its engine cover.
Well, it has to be a GTS 4 liter.
You're
'Cause
right.
The other
it does
ones
have
are.
to at least be
The
a
other
4
ones
liter.
sound like Subarus.
Although
Or
if you take their engine covers off, they might not.
Okay.
Chris, are you in agreement? GT4 RS. Brower. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I
next
mean,
up.
everyone should own a GT4 RS. Am I right?
Yeah, we're gonna split one.
Not bad. You're gonna have a lot of car custody. You're gonna be like a busy baby daddy with cars.
Joint custody.
Let's get
A lot
get
of
Ruby
different
Star.
12 cars.
You're gonna have car support.
Someone
for a lot
out
of
there
different-
order a Ruby Star GT4 RS and then keep it for like 4 years and then sell it to Chris and I.
EV6 GT from Kia versus the G80. Now, I think the only G80 we drove this year was the electrified G80, but both of them technically eligible. I
Yeah.
quite liked the Kia EV6 GT. And you know what? It really should just be EV6 because I put in other performance cars with their non-performance variants. So I'm just going to say Kia EV6 versus G80. After you took that road trip in the Ioniq 5 and you talked about how fast it charged, that could even be last year, but it's like if you wanted to buy a new EV, why would it not be one of the Hyundai Kia products?
That was such a it was an eye opener because obviously I was nervous about road tripping an EV, and I want to do it again with a non Hyundai or a Kia and see how it goes. Because every boomer that tries road tripping a Lightning talks about how terrifying it was and everything, which could have something to do with them and not the truck. But where was I going with this? I would go EV6 because the G80's seating position is too high.
Oh, that's a good point.
I forgot
also,
about that.
The EV6 is fantastic. And the G80 does a good job at being an EV that's just a normal car. But Genesis does that with a lot of their other vehicles too. And the EV6, between the three of the Ioniq 6, the Ioniq 5, the GV60, it's the most fun to drive, even in like EV6 wind form. But the GT was, oh my gosh, that was a maniac.
I also think that the G80 is a little less relevant because the GV70 electrified exists.
That's true.
now.
Hey, Themios.
So, sorry, Kirk. I think we're going to go EV6.
I also think everyone who's bought a Hellcat and like is doing street takeovers in them is just going to go to EV6 GTs after that.
That'll be a good option. I've seen Tesla Model 3s doing takeovers
Oh, yeah,
lately.
that's right. That works too.
Would you like to know who bought an EV6 this year? My grandmother.
Really?
I kid you not. My grandmother, upon no recommendation of my own.
The Cougar, Mercury Cougar grandma?
No, my rock star grandmother
I thought
who
you were
lives in
saying,
Vegas.
Are you calling Charlie's grandmother a cougar?
No, she owned a
Second.
Cougar.
Yes, she did. No, my grandmother who lives in Vegas and plays in a rock band, she traded her very
Such a rare-
grandmother car, Cadillac XT4. And in fact, actually,
That's
it was
a dreadful car.
It was an SRX, so it was even more.
Oh, that's,
dreadful.
yeah.
She traded that for a Kia EV6, and she loves it.
Great.
So
Grandma got a glow up.
Yep, she sure did. So for that reason,
Work
Kia
on my
EV6.
posture.
BMW 5 Series, which we've all had very limited time with.
This is the new 5 Series?
New 5 Series,
Ooh, okay.
including the i5,
All right.
along with the Mercedes SL. Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes AMG.
That was the yellow one we
Yes.
drove in California.
Yeah.
Okay.
That car was, now that I'm thinking about it more, it was a bit overshadowed by the other cars we had, but it was really good, and you drove it a lot.
I put a lot of miles on that, and that was before I was filming a lot for my channel, so I didn't film anything on it, but
This is mostly on you, Christopher.
I know. I would probably go SL. I loved that SL.
The sound system was fantastic. It was
It's
one of the best
S-tier.
sound systems that we've tested this
Really
year.
good.
It's really
What is it? Burmeister?
Burmester.
Burmester.
Mm-hmm.
Why do people say Burmeister?
I don't know.
But it's Burmester?
Burmester.
It's
Oh, okay.
Burmester.
There's no I in there.
Okay, anyways.
It's that. It's what Chris said.
Hello, Adrian.
The new 5 Series is really good. We just haven't spent a bunch of time with it.
The 5 Series is really good.
Perhaps a bit premature to have it on this list, but I had trouble filling it out. So
Yeah, we need to spend more time.
You did a good job, Charlie.
thank you. I think the 5 Series is more comprehensive, and if we've already killed a lot of sedans on this list, so I think the 5 Series should make it. The i5 was really good, and it made Hans Zimmer noises.
I've never driven the i5.
Why didn't? Oh, because I drove it.
Yes. I drove the 530i X-Drive.
Well, that was probably okay.
It was a car. It
Did
really
you drive
did
the
car things.
30?
didn't
The
know.
4-cylinder?
You guys
I
only drove the
the
i5s.
M60 and the eDrive 40.
Somebody says too ugly. I don't think that's ugly at all. I think the 5 Series looks good.
It is a bit tall.
Mm.
That's the only thing, is it looks kind of strange.
It is kind of weird looking.
Nobody's
M5
buying
that
sedans
we
anymore,
can't
so they
talk
tried
about.
to kind of make it like
Oh,
an SUV.
a little bit of an agenda.
The M5 that we can't talk about.
What M5, Chris? Get us. Jeff's gonna swing in here.
Jeff's gonna come crashing through the ceiling.
The whole internet
Don't
just
talk
goes
about it.
down. I like the SL. Maybe if we had gotten into one of the ones that wasn't $200,000.
I loved that SL.
That's very good.
Oh my god, that just wanted to drive it home to Michigan.
Did you like the SL, Amos?
No, I thought it was just way too complicated and there were too many buttons. And
The screen
That's
does
because
kind
you
of
didn't
kill
drive
that
it. That's
car.
that's the thing. We've
Yeah.
talked about this with Mercedes. Is you can't
So
have them for a
annoying.
day.
No, you have to have them for a week.
You have to have Mercedes for a week, and then on the 7th day of the loan, you go, "Oh, okay, this all makes sense
But
now."
the 5
getting
Series
feedback?
is almost about the same.
No, it's just the music.
Really? It's
Yeah.
like coming through weird in the mics. Okay. All right. So we've made it through this one. Continuing on. Lower quadrant.
Why'd the 5 Series win?
Because Amos and I both think it's
Okay,
a more comprehensive
anyways.
lineup.
Sorry, Chris. We value your opinion, though.
Yeah, that's all right.
Subaru BRZ and Toyota GR86 versus the Nissan Versa.
Wow, what a pairing.
I have to say,
Nice work.
look at the seeds, Chris. It's 1 versus 16.
Yeah.
I have to say, I had an automatic GR86 for a total of 24 hours a few weeks ago.
Why?
Situational. It's just weird.
Okay.
And it was the anniversary edition. In fact, Chris, it was that same one that Zygreen had.
The celebration
the orange
model.
one.
Yeah.
And that car is just so good.
It is really good.
It's really good. And you know what? The automatic is just fine.
It is actually. It's gotten better with age.
Yeah, as long as you shift it yourself. You can't let it shift on its own.
That modified GR6
Yeah,
in
that
the Canyons,
Weeaboo one.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I need to post that video actually.
Did you see this car, Chris?
And my
it was
BRZ
covered with
is-
anime stickers.
Oh, that's good.
And it spoke to you when you started. It did a little like
Yeah.
geisha voice, like anime voice
like
thing
the
when
Japanese radio.
you start. Like yeah,
That was an awesome car.
it was actually pretty good. Yeah, yeah.
I did drive the GR86 with the TRD exhaust though this year,
Okay.
and it was just like compared to my BRZ, it was a little too stiff, it was a little too loud, it was a little too drony. It was nice, but like it wasn't as livable of a car. Like there's such a big difference between the BRZ and the GR86, and I think it's how you set them up too. But overall, it's such a better car than the Versa.
Okay.
Kirk says there's a boomer lady in Naples that owns the Orange Edition automatic.
That's pretty funny.
Sure that's a constant.
Well, it's
theme.
gonna be GR86 BRZ versus GTI.
Is it
There you
though?
go.
Well, let's
Oh,
see.
we didn't even
'cause
give the Versa a chance. I did.
Amos said it was
allegedly-
bad.
What?
I mean, it's not.
It was
it's
okay.
not
It had a
bad.
great handbrake.
It's not.
Mhm. It came in purple
The
too.
GR86
So for the
and
same
BRZ.
reason we passed the Z4.
The
you know,
problem with the
it's not
Versa is it's not the Sentra.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The Sentra's good.
I didn't drive the Sentra, so
Yeah.
unfortunately.
The Sentra's good minus the powertrain.
Yeah.
Okay. GTI from Volkswagen versus the Subaru Forester.
I quite liked the Forester.
I quite liked the
Wilderness.
Forester
Oh
as well.
God.
Yeah.
I did.
It's a good package.
No, it is.
It's
It is.
tall. It's decent looking. The technology's not.
I prefer the
fantastic.
Crosstrek though.
Better than the GTI.
I was gonna say we took that GTI to Mama. I think it was this year.
Oh my God.
I didn't.
It's infuriating to
Yeah.
live with.
I don't like the GTI. I just don't.
I know. I don't. I used to own a GTI.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted a new GTI because it's
Mhm.
just all things. It does everything well. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I don't
don't
think it looks that good.
I don't think I could recommend it to like a friend.
The old GTIs, you felt like you were getting away with something. Like
Yeah.
you felt like you're like, how could a car this affordable be this good?
It felt as good as a Audi that cost twice the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten that vibe from the Mark 8. Partially, it's not that it isn't that good. It's just it's also expensive now.
All I see with the GTI is a $40,000 price tag and cost cutting.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I
Everywhere
know.
is cost cutting.
I feel like the youngest person in the world right now listening to you guys pick a Forester over a GTI.
However, the Golf R was fantastic, but that's
Mm.
not a GTI.
No, it's not.
So,
And you can't buy a Golf, so I couldn't put the entire Golf lineup on here.
Yeah.
Brower, this is your last chance to fight for the GTI.
Well,
Or else it's going to be Forester.
No, it's okay.
The
'Cause-
only problem though is only one trim of the Forester is good, and the rest are miserable.
Why?
Because it's
What's
just
the good one?
the wilderness.
Oh,
Why can't you get a non-wilderness? What if you don't need to be exploring off-road and you just want to get to Whole Foods and back?
the Forester is just like the worst choice in the segment, minus the Eclipse Cross.
What? I think the Forester is one of the least pretentious Subarus.
The fact that you have to say least pretentious.
Well,
It is a good package.
yeah, because the Forester is the only one that doesn't give you a turbocharged motor, right? It's just the 2.5.
We should probably
just
pick
honest.
the GTI.
Yes.
I mean, they're
2
both
votes
just
for
gonna be-
GTI.
Come on, Chris, you went soft on me. I almost had that.
It has a front diff.
Doesn't the Forester?
No. Integra versus Lexus IS.
Oh, this will be a good discussion.
And
here.
this includes the Integra Type S.
Does it include the IS 500?
Yes.
I saw
Oh.
an Integra today.
Just an Integra?
Yeah.
Good.
Haven't seen one in like a month.
Ooh, interesting noises happening.
Mm-hmm.
The Integra Type S is so good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So is the IS 500 though.
Every time I like the IS, or every time I drive the IS, I'm reminded, oh yeah, this is pretty good. But I'm also reminded of all the reasons why I wouldn't buy one. and part of that is the 3 Series exists, and part
Back
of that
seat's
is
unusable.
yeah,
The
and
IS is small. It's kind of
It's like smaller than the Integra.
Yeah.
Like you spend a lot of time in it, like a long road trip, and you just get claustrophobic.
well, you did
That is true, and I was very claustrophobic in the driver's seat because of the way that the
The hump.
dashboard is styled.
Oh,
no,
that too.
not the hump, because the IS 500 doesn't have a hump because it's rear-wheel drive. The dashboard protrudes too far out, so you don't have anywhere to put your right leg when you're in cruise control.
I see.
It has to like
Integra.
press. Yeah, I have Integra.
Okay, Integra it is. Sorry, Alexis.
I'd get an RC.
The last thing I will say about okay, it's funny you bring that up. The last thing I will say about the IS before we move on is it is a nicer Lexus to be in and drive than all the new tech-heavy ones like the RX and the TX and the NX and everything. The IS is refreshing, but so is the RC,
Yep.
which
With
I
all-
drove. But you
for all
guys
the
did not.
markups that are going on with IS 500s, I'd get an RCF.
Are they
Yeah.
marking those up?
Oh yeah, they always have.
By how many?
I don't know.
Too many.
Because they're only like 60 grand, aren't they? If you get them.
Yeah, but you can get an RCF for like 60 grand.
Integra Type S is 60 grand.
That's true.
Honda Civic, all the models, SI, Type R, and base, and hatch, and manual,
Versus
and
what?
CVT, versus the Mitsubishi Outlander.
Which
It's gonna be
out-
Civic versus Integra.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna pick the Civic because it's fantastic.
Which Outlander is it? I guess that doesn't matter. Pick the Civic.
Yeah. It mostly just the Outlander had to
You had
fill
to-
a spot.
Okay.
Yeah. Volkswagen Jetta versus Hyundai Elantra.
Ooh, that Jetta base with the 6-speed manual
Yeah.
was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it has to be the
I
Jetta.
like that more than the GTI.
Yeah. And it got 50 miles per gallon on our highway fuel economy test.
was
50.
incredible.
Nothing
However-
has ever beaten that.
However, it had a 2-speaker sound system, which was unlistenable.
That was the worst sound system I've heard since like a 90s
Ever.
Volvo 240.
However, this also includes the performance version of these two cars. GLI
Still quite good.
versus the Elantra N.
The GLI has too much rev hang.
It does have a lot of rev. That's
But
why
you could
gotta
tune
get
that out, right?
The DSG.
Oh, fair.
You could get
probably
either of
APR
those.
tune that out. Elantra N though. Elantra N is
Very good.
Wheel hop though, Chris.
very good.
The wheel hop.
yeah, but you just need an engine mount to fix it
Why don't they do it from the factory?
because it's
Are you telling me none of the engineers like launched the car? Like, how did they not know about that?
Kirk said, "How'd the Outlander make the list?" We drove it. That's what the top. That's what the
That's
very
what-
top of it says. We drove them.
we drove that.
Charlie put it against the Civic just to kind of get it over with, you know?
Yeah, take it out of its misery.
Yeah.
Well, I think because I mean the Elantra on its own is a very compelling option.
Is it though? So we had that Elantra. Did you care for it?
Which Elantra?
Exactly, the red one. That
Oh,
we
the
had.
red one. Yeah. I'd have the Jetta.
Exactly.
But
See,
the
we
only
all
reason we'd
remember
have
the Jetta.
Jetta is because of that manual, which no one's gonna buy.
You and I had an automatic Jetta a few years ago,
We did.
The Jetta had a key.
and it was still pretty good.
It had a key that you stuck in the ignition and turned.
Yes, but it's also inexpensive.
No, I'm
It is
saying
the
that's
most
fine.
honest
I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
saying it's a bad thing. You know.
All right, so here let's we both
Put
we
it
all
this
enjoyed
way.
the Jetta to drive more, right?
If you've got a Jetta with a key and a Hyundai with a key, anyone off the street can't have the Jetta.
You can get an Elantra manual too.
It's easier to get an Elantra
No,
than a Jetta.
you guys aren't
manual.
getting what I'm trying to say. Two cars parked outside.
Yeah.
An Elantra with a key.
You're
and a
saying
Jetta
the
with a
Elantra
key.
can be stolen.
Yes.
No, you actually raise a good point
Yeah.
because
Anybody, it's basically just a free car, whereas the Jetta, it's your car, and then no one can have
it's
it.
not the community's
It's not
car.
a communal car. That's a good point.
I think we've talked about the Jetta.
Is the Hellcat on this list? No, it already got stolen.
Yeah, there you go. The Elantra N is really good, but the Kona N won last year. So I'm not saying it disqualifies it. I'm just saying that.
We haven't driven the new Elantra N yet, the 24.
Why is it? It's not any different, is it?
Yes.
They facelifted it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
but-
it's revised.
Oh well, that one hasn't had an official N announcement though, right?
Yeah, it has.
It
They've
has?
shown it.
Oh.
It fixes the front end you didn't like. Looks better now.
That's good. Well, I'm gonna pick the Jetta. That feedback is
Man,
something.
yeah, that's what are they doing in
I
there?
don't know. They're being
Sounds horrible.
mediocre. All right, Ford Bronco
The first song they played was good, and they've just been garbage since.
versus the other filler car, the Chevy Equinox.
The Equinox is like car paste. It's just like if like we were in a socialist society, everyone would just have an Equinox.
We didn't make you have the Equinox,
Almost
did we?
everyone does have an Equinox
Yeah.
around here.
It's true. It's like well, I guess I should say if the government issued cars, it would be
in your
Equinoxes.
Equinoxes. Chris and I, you and I had the 7-speed manual Bronco for a while.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. Brower, I don't.
I still like the Bronco a lot.
Yeah,
So here's the thing about the Bronco manual. Everyone's asking me, Tacoma or Bronco manual? Bronco manual drives like a sports car almost.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For those of you watching, is that like feedback sort of sound coming through the mics, or is it just coming through our headphones? That's what I'd like to know.
I don't hear any feedback from me.
Okay. It's just like a very bass heavy, like
That's some
resonating
very rare
sound.
music happening right now.
Rare? Is that what Gen Zs are saying now?
No, that's what
Okay.
millennials said.
Okay. All right.
So
Hyundai.
rare, medium rare, well done.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like a good way of describing things, yeah. This one is interesting for me. Ioniq 5 versus Ioniq 6. We're going to get this out of the way right now.
I like the way the Ioniq 6 drives.
I would pick the
Quite a
Ioniq
bit
6 as
better.
well because it's a sedan that doesn't have as many sedan trade-offs.
Yeah, I really like the Ioniq 6. The Ioniq 5 was a little bit forgettable. I like the way it looks at its packaging, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree?
Yeah, I'd go Ioniq 6.
All right. Lean Chen says there's some feedback, but minimal. All right. Well, we're gonna push on then, because I can also turn down our mics if need be,
Yeah, turn
and then
everything down. We can just get closer.
we can just
Yeah.
get really.
Yeah,
Turn the mics down.
Okay. Ioniq 6 it is. I'm okay with that.
GR Corolla or Kia Soul?
Mm-hmm. Now you can no longer get the Kia Soul GT
I didn't like the Kia
turbo
Soul
thing.
There was nothing about the Kia Soul that I liked.
Did you like the GR Corolla?
Yes.
Then that's our answer.
Mm. GR Corolla it is. Moving on to the luxury
I
category.
forgot we drove a Kia Soul.
It had the lights and the speakers that you
Oh
enjoy.
my god.
BMW 7 Series versus Rolls-Royce Spectre.
No.
Now, Chris, Amos, did you drive the Spectre down at Test Fest?
I did not.
Okay, so this is going to be a me and Brower consideration.
I've spent so much time in the new 7 Series. Like I've driven every. Actually, the only one I haven't driven is the 740i, but I've driven the 760i, the 750e, the i7e whatever, and the i7 M70. So
You're
I've
probably
driven,
one of the few people outside of BMW that's actually driven like
And I've,
every
like-
powertrain of that car.
and I've driven them.
Mhm.
So like, that's crazy. The amount of like horrible feedback that.
Do you have a bottle opener?
Yeah,
There.
right here.
Thank you. I think the new 7 Series is fantastic for if I had to summarize it, it would be because it is the first 7 Series that I wholeheartedly would recommend over the S-Class. Is that fair?
Yeah, just has an ugly front end, but whatever.
I don't think it's ugly. I think it's cool.
It's got a snoot.
Yeah. Amos, what did you think about the 7 Series? You had a few of them. i7 and everything.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
The tech is a bit overwhelming, but it's still better than the Mercedes.
Yeah, definitely better than the S-Class.
Are you gonna eat that apple into the mic?
I might. Might be a little intermission.
The thing I like about the Spectre, even though I didn't drive it, is that I think it is kind of like the ultimate Rolls-Royce. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but in electric form, it's the quietest, most comfortable, smoothest possible vehicle that Rolls-Royce could produce.
However, the Phantom is still better.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you can tell because I was lucky enough to have the Spectre for a number of days, and you're right that the electric powertrain is tops. That's what they've been trying to achieve for 20 years with the V12 by making it quieter and quieter and quieter and more powerful. So electric's the way to go, but you can tell they still spent a little bit more money on the Phantom than this platform.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
7 Series.
All right.
Let's just do it.
Sorry, Rolls-Royce. Are you okay with that, Chris?
Yes.
Here we go. Genesis GV60 versus Nissan Ariya. I think I'd pick the Ariya for 2 reasons. 1, the interior was actually pretty cool. And 2,
Is it because I could operate the brake pedal for you?
and 2, the GV60 is everything that... How should I say this? It's not as good as the Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6.
The GV60 had a ton of annoying throttle lag off the line, like a second of delay.
Did it? Did you ever put it in sport mode?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I thought the GV60 was really fun to drive,
It was good.
and I did not think the Ariya was fun to drive. But if you go from a value standpoint, I know the Aria is pretty expensive though. Isn't it like 60 grand?
Yeah, but they're doing like $200 lease deals.
That was for
on them.
employees.
But no, you can get a more basic Aria for only like 45, I think. 40, 45.
You can't actually get them though. I think they're only selling platinums.
Mm.
Oh, good. Now we have SoundCloud rapper and rock band going at the same time. Love it.
The other thing is, Amos, you could actually possibly turn your mic more toward Brower because these are directional mics.
There we go. Let's try it.
Oh, I think that helped.
I think
actually.
it did. Yeah, actually
It's just been my fault this whole time.
Yeah, I think that's an improvement.
All
there.
right, good.
Okay, cool. The GV60 I think was a bit of a flash in the pan. Like it's actually a really cool interior.
It
but
is.
So is the
Yeah.
Aria. Kirk says Aria because interior because GV6 is bested Bionic 5 models. Yeah, I'm gonna unless you guys are gonna fight me on
No,
that.
I'd say Aria,
can
yeah.
take Aria. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, BMW X7 versus the Mercedes C-Class.
I liked the new C-Class quite a bit. And the X7 is really good, but the power third row seats are annoying.
That blue X7 we had this year was awesome.
The M60i.
Yeah, 60i. That was great.
I would go X7. The C-Class is fine, but I'd still just get a 3 Series.
Mercedes should have given us a C63 and they didn't. So
I don't think they make the C63.
Yeah,
like
it's a 4-cylinder, but it's still a C63.
Yeah.
Because the C63 is a 4-cylinder, it's going to be X7.
fair enough.
The Toyota Grand Highlander versus the Nissan Pathfinder. Now, before you say Toyota, I do have the Pathfinder
Charlie's
right
in
now.
a Pathfinder this week.
It's okay,
It is very okay.
but I'd still take the Grand Highlander.
Yeah,
The
probably.
Grand Highlander, I hate to say it, but it's one of the best cars that's come out this year.
It's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I had this weird power surging issue with the Grand Highlander we had. Like throttle response was
Oh,
like
weird.
all over the place.
Had you consumed a lot of coffee that day and your foot was just kind of like
I did have a
pulsating?
latte, yeah. Maybe.
The Grand Highlander is so good at being a Toyota.
It's like the epitome. It's like
Yeah.
kind of cheap inside, but it makes it like that much better.
I'm glad the one we had was a limited also. It was only one up from base. And
Yeah.
it had the base engine. So
Yeah.
it was like 50 grand. Which I mean for a car that size still had leather, heated seats, heated steering wheel. I think it had cooled seats too, actually.
Probably.
I
mean-
had no moonroof. It was a slick top.
The Highlander I have is 53.
They're weird about that sunroof, moonroof thing.
Oh yeah, they don't put them on
Yeah.
because of MPG testing,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
I don't know about Toyota with that, but GM definitely does that.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Grand Highlander.
for sure.
Oh, wow. I'm not looking forward to picking between these two, though. That's going to be a tough one. Toyota Sequoia versus GMC Yukon. Now, you guys just got out of the Yukon, right?
Oh yeah.
The Yukon was great. The Sequoia, the big problem with the Sequoia, and this is, I think, going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, is that you just can't conveniently put anything in the back of it. It has this stupid storage solution for this. Has this like deck that like rises up that you can't put a dog back there. You can't put a suitcase there. It's not a flat
Man.
space. It's really annoying to live with. and
Chris,
it's
they were
not.
They were talking that up at the launch event about how it
Oh
was
my
just such a
gosh.
great
It's the
solution.
dumbest design decision ever. Like the Grand Highlander's going to be, people are just going to buy the Grand Highlander instead.
I think the
Yeah.
Sequoia is dead in the water after Grand Highlander came out. And I feel, I think the PR team probably got to breathe a huge sigh of relief after the Grand Highlander came out because they had to slog through pitching Tundra with its new motors and then Sequoia. So they had a tough year. And then they got Grand Highlander and Tacoma, and they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in the new Sequoia, and I hate having to lift my 40-pound suitcase 4 feet up in the air to get it back there.
But Chris, you can adjust the load surface with the stupid tray that slides in and out.
Kirk pointed out the GX550 costs less. I don't know if that's right. I'm assuming it's right.
Less
Oh,
than
no,
what?
sorry. I don't know if he means less than the Sequoia or less than the Yukon. But maybe either way, he said just GX550 costs less.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have the Yukon. I quite liked the Yukon, and I also the sound system
Super
was pretty
Cruise
good.
also
I know
was
you,
amazing.
you knocked it down for the sound system. I understood what you were saying for being a $100,000 car. Obviously,
Yeah.
a BMW X7 is going to have a better sound system.
Can we at least point out that car you guys were driving the other week was $100,000?
That's a lot of money.
But they start at like 60-something, right?
I would have the the Silverado High Country for like $30,000
that was
cheaper.
a muscle truck.
Yeah,
That thing was
I'd have
awesome.
that and save $30,000.
Well, I'd have the Tahoe and save 20 or 30 grand too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would still pick the Yukon though.
over the Sequoia.
I
Yeah,
couldn't see out of the Sequoia because it's stupid tow mirrors on it.
that was really bad. Also, it's horrendous in that solar flare color.
You mean solar octane or whatever they
Thank you.
whatever they call it?
Honda Accord versus Ford Escape. I hated the Ford Escape that
So
I
I
had.
didn't think the Escape was that bad, but the Lincoln Corsair was dreadful, and we'll get to that. But I suppose the Escape is kind of the
The Escape I drove was like $47,000.
That's why I hated it.
Yeah.
Just because of how expensive it
I
was.
was like, this is more than the Type R.
And for what? Like it didn't drive any nicer than the Honda does, the CR-V.
The new Accord is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Honda made some good decisions on that for like the majority of buyers.
Have you had a 1.5 at home yet?
No.
All right,
But
we
it
need to get
drives
you
like
in
the-
one of those.
what did we
Yeah.
have? We had a hybrid.
Yeah, we had hybrid.
Yeah.
We should try and get a 1.5.
I had one in California. I quite liked it.
The only knock
Um,
about the Accord is that it doesn't actually get very good gas mileage being a hybrid. I think the 1.5 turbo gets equally as good fuel economy.
Yeah, I got something like 45 mpg on the highway in the 1.5.
Yeah.
NPC.
I beat the hybrid in the 1.5. But around the
Yeah.
city, and at least it makes it an enjoyable to drive hybrid.
It's
like it's
so
a very,
smooth.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'd be willing to give up a few miles per gallon to get such a nice hybrid system.
Yep.
So
Justin, what's up?
yeah, Escape costs way too much.
Ooh, G90 versus RX.
Yeah, the RX is good. However, Lexus keeps shoving F Sport down everybody's throat. So why did I have
Sport handling.
why did I have an RX with a 2.4 liter turbo that rode worse than it should have? Like an RX should be like just a silent thing.
Also, the steering wheel buttons on the RX
They are pretty bad.
are infuriating.
Yeah. Every Lexus I have, I'm like, well, maybe I'll get used to these.
No,
Mhm.
they're terrible.
No, I try to change change the speed while you're on the highway. You have to double press it,
Yeah.
or you have to kind of fondle it a little
You
bit
have
and
to
sort
do
of
like
warm it
button
up.
foreplay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then get it ready to click.
Yeah, you do. You have to. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm just answering. This guy Marco asked us a question.
Mm.
Has a Camaro LT1. Wants
Oh,
to
I like the
wants
LT1.
wants to ditch a manual because he lives in Miami, thinking CT4 Blackwing. Lexus IS500 might be a good one to look at because they're all automatic. Or you can have the CT4 Blackwing in automatic.
Or the RCF.
Yeah, or Lexus RCF. Those would all be good. But I mean, CT4 Blackwing with a 10-speed would probably be fine.
The GM 10 speed is good for trucks, not fantastic for sports cars.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted
It's
to answer
okay.
that real quick. I didn't want that to go
Sure.
skipped.
Will they give you the CT5V Blackwing in the 10 speed as
Yes,
well?
they will. Yeah, so that'd be a cool one too.
Hmm.
Probably a little pricey. Anyways, sorry.
Brower,
Accord-
which would you have, G90 or RX?
I've never driven a G9. Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, you did.
I have. I have a video. on it.
G90 was pretty
Wait,
baller.
what was the G? Oh, the gray thing with the brown interior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd have the G90 because you don't have to fondle the steering wheel.
Yes. I think Genesis is
You know
doing
what though? No wireless CarPlay in a $100,000 sedan.
That is a good point, and it'll probably get beat because of that. But we should at least just kudos Genesis here for a moment for keeping tech simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you get in a Genesis and it just works.
And kind of finally doing some unique designs.
Yeah. And doesn't that one have power doors?
It does.
The G90.
Yeah.
You hate Lexus? How about a BMW M340i?
That's a good car.
That's a great one.
Electrified GV70. I don't know why I included just the electrified GV70 and all G80s, but it's going to lose to the Volvo S60.
Oh, I love the S60.
Actually, I do
Oh, it's
quite
such a
like the
good
electrified
That almost
GV70
won
too.
last year.
Yeah,
No, that was
no
the
V60
Oh yeah.
And then
they all drive the same.
you went anti-Volvo for a sec.
I
Yeah.
did.
for Bronco, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
a dark moment.
Yeah, this has to be the S60 because I just
The
love it.
GV70 could be
S60.
car of the year if it had a 300-mile range,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. You remember that white interior we had? It
That was pretty dope.
fantastic.
It was like a sterile environment.
The S60 looks so good. Every now and then I see him in public driving around, and it's just, especially like in white or something, so good.
Oh, I have not driven the new tracks.
Neither
but I've
have
heard
I.
it's very good.
You've driven the Invista.
Yes.
Picture that, but with a $26,000 price tag.
Well, the Vista is a $25,000 price tag. They
What?
cost the same.
How much is that in Vista?
29 with like
Oh,
every
wow.
option under the moon.
It's also brown.
It's
That's
gold.
neat. It's brown.
So Chevy is continuing to keep Buick as just like a
The-
badge swapped
The
option, or GM.
BZ4X is a poor excuse for an electric car.
I didn't mind it though,
I
like
like
as
the
a vehicle.
The Elon Musk disciple AEX12
It takes
EV.
about an hour for the regen to start working.
That is true. That's real.
All right, Chevy Trax. Trax is really good.
I haven't driven the Buick thing yet either, though, so I'll just trust you guys on this.
Okay.
Does it have a 3-cylinder, Chris?
Yeah.
Does it sound like a like the Rogue, the 3-cylinder Rogue?
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Mhm.
Does it sound cool? Okay,
It's
cool.
kind of gruff.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I might. Yeah.
This Vista is very recommendable.
Mhm.
Like it's just an easy car.
Cool.
Would you say it looks like a Lamborghini Urus?
Yeah.
It does
Okay.
look good.
Yeah.
Like it showed up in my driveway, and I was like, "Oh, this looks nice." And then I looked at the price tag. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah. Did some of your fancy Plymouth neighbors like walk by and be like, "Oh wow, is this a Buick?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh God.
I can see that.
That's not a Buick. That's what I told him.
Mazda CX-5 versus the Kia Sportage.
That's the CX-5.
Did we drive a Sportage?
Yeah.
We did.
Exactly.
Mhm.
See,
It's early in the
Did
year.
we
but
drive
yeah.
a CX-5?
I think you asked me if you could get away with not reviewing the Sportage, and I told you just do it. And it's got like 100,000 views.
you didn't like it because it had the knobby tires.
It's
and
an X Pro.
Oh, the X Pro. Yeah, that's right. It had a roof rails. Okay. The CX-5, they just
rails.
painted the plastic bits on it this year, didn't they? And added a new infotainment. CX-5 is fantastic.
I just realized a car I don't have on here that it's kind of a bummer is the CX-50 because they retuned the steering and the suspension, but we haven't driven it yet.
Is it
Yeah.
because we complained about it?
Yeah,
Everyone complained about it.
yeah, and they fixed it because they listen.
That's good.
Honda CR-V versus the Honda Pilot.
I've never driven a CR-V.
It's like the Accord.
Oh yeah, you guys haven't had a CR-V
I've never
alone.
driven any CR-V ever.
We had one. We had a blue one.
That was before
before
Charlie
we were
moved.
sharing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got you into it, but yeah.
The new Pilot is really good.
Can you believe that? I've never
it?
driven a CR-V.
Yeah. The Pilot's awesome. Like
I
handles
took the
great.
Trail Sport up north, and I just was like, meh. It's fine, but the CR-V I think is quite nice to be in. But I only drove a Trail Sport, so you drove. What did you drive an Elite with Tedford?
All of them, yeah. I'd vote Pilot.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris, what did you think of the Pilot? You spent a lot of time in it.
I didn't really spend a lot. I spent like a day in it because
Really?
you took it up north.
It's super impressive off road.
Remember, I was supposed to.
But
spend,
no one's gonna take a Pilot off road.
Charlie. I was supposed to spend the week in it, and then you
And the
stole it
X7,
from me
well, because the X7 got
got
ill.
a nail in the tire,
Mm-hmm.
so I spent like less than a day in the Pilot.
You're
so I
right.
don't-
You're right.
The problem with the CR-V is that the Accord is better.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Why?
It drives better.
Yeah, but the CR-V's got
Oh,
more room.
interesting.
CR-V's still good.
Charlie, why is the Aria on here twice?
Oh no, I've got an agenda. All right, here. how
Well,
about-
one is for the Aria that I sing, and the other is for the Nissan Aria.
There we go.
630 or 650?
630.
Okay.
It's not on the list.
There we go.
We drive a CX30 this year? Oh yeah, we did.
All right, well, let's think. CR-V gives you two powertrains. You get the gas or the hybrid. Pilot's just giving you the 3.5, right? Which, kudos to Honda for still doing the 3.5
It's
in
good
that
V6.
car.
Yeah.
I really like the CR-V.
Then
The-
vote CR-V, and Chris will be the tiebreaker, because, yeah.
He hasn't driven the
I've
CR-V.
never driven a CR-V,
Ah.
and I spent like 10 hours in a Pilot.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right, fair. Are we going on shoot?
I mean, they're both Hondas.
Let's
Sure,
answer.
whatever.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay.
CR-V
Oh,
wins.
it's all right.
Just do
CR-V.
one.
CR-V
Name
wins.
time. CR-V wins.
Daily Motor Car of the Year decided. Did we just rock, paper, scissors the whole way through
Oh,
when we
man.
get one? Okay. CX-30 versus the new Prius. Now, you have not driven the new Prius, right?
I've not. No.
I love the new Prius.
So tell me why.
It's so much fun to drive. It's quick, finally. It handles well. It looks great, except for I saw one today with the plastic like wheel covers, and it's possibly like the worst wheel cover design I've ever seen in my life. But
Okay.
I love the Prius. It's just so good. It's maybe one of the best driving, most refined Toyota products. Period.
All right, so it's really good driving, but
There's no room in the back seat.
there's no room in the back seat. There's also no room in the trunk. And wouldn't you just buy like a sport compact? Wouldn't you just buy like a Jetta GLI?
There's also no room in the back seat or the trunk of the CX-30.
I have not driven the normal Prius yet. I'm sure that one's really good, but I had the Prius Prime this last
Oh
week.
yeah, what'd you think about the Prime?
It was $44,000. I would have the RAV4 Prime over it every day, and I think most other people would too.
Even with all the rattles.
Yeah, because the RAV4 has room for 4 adults and their things, and still gets decent economy.
But this is CX-30 versus Prius.
Oh yeah, we haven't even mentioned the CX-30. Your beloved purchased the CX-30.
I know.
However, your beloved sold the CX-30.
Kirk's about to be killed in chat because he said that the CX-30 has too much plastic and what is it? Feels heavy with the turbo. Emily's about to come after you, Kirk.
I don't know. Prius is like his new Prius is great.
I haven't driven the Prius, so it's your guys' choice. I love the CX-30. Obviously, we all recommended the CX-30.
I'm gonna let Amos
we've
pick
owned
because
2 CX-30s.
Amos has spent the most time both. I haven't driven the normal Prius either, so Amos is gonna have to pick this one.
I'm gonna say Prius.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. No.
CX-30 is also great. Everyone should just go buy both.
Ford F-150 versus the new Toyota Corolla Cross, including hybrid.
This is so embarrassing. I really liked the Corolla Cross hybrid, and I didn't think.
That means you're actually becoming a real journalist.
Oh God, it was such an eye-opening week. I was like, "What?" Like I'm driving this. What do they call it?
An appliance?
What was the color? Something bile blast.
Oh yeah.
What was it called?
Bile blast.
Acidic blast.
Yeah.
Acidic blast. And
It's like
you were
stomach acid color.
yeah, you were gone that week, so I had to film it for the Topher. And I like.
Oh, so Chris, you didn't drive the CX
Emily says justice for the CX-30. I drove
out
it
in the round of
briefly,
64.
but also we drove the Raptor R.
I didn't drive the Raptor R.
Wait, you didn't?
Nope.
Oh.
Didn't have a chance.
He was in the weird crossover.
Did you come with me off-roading in that?
We were all there. I just drove it quickly. I
Charlie-
drove it while you two went
Charlie
out.
would
the
let
map.
me
Rode in the
drive it.
Raptor R with me.
Oh, I rode in it. That's right. Yeah.
I was really impressed by the Raptor R because I didn't care for the 3.5 Raptor much at all. And then I got the Raptor R and it felt like a totally different truck.
Oh my gosh, it was incredible.
But it's also $1 billion.
Yeah. But
And it's also going to break. I actually had the F-150 Heritage a few months ago, and I
Wow,
quite
so
liked
it was
that.
two-tone.
It was two-tone,
Yeah,
and it
what else was different?
had cloth seats.
Wow. See, I don't like the stupid Toya shifter on the F-150.
You're right, but you
I don't
can
know,
get a
my da-
column shifter.
My dad daily drives an F-150. I don't know how he does it.
Has it
would
broken yet?
Drive me nuts. It's stupid.
well, this is his second one.
I was going to say, has
Oh, yeah,
anything gone wrong with this truck?
No, but the red one was cursed. So he had the one he got in 2021 or whatever was a POS, and then he got another one.
Also, I like the F-150 Lightning.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I like the Corolla Cross, but I have 2 problems with it. One, they could not have made it more boring looking if they tried. They made it the most generic car, and then at the last
Very
moment,
safe.
they said we need to have a fun color because it looks so boring.
So,
So much so that
made
they
somebody throw up, and then they sampled.
they
the color.
bragged about the black lettering being special about the hybrid.
Yeah.
And 2, what was the other thing? I can't remember my second reason. Corolla Cross. Oh, the RAV4 exists, and you should probably just buy a RAV4
All right,
or
F1
a
F150.
Camry. I think F-150.
F-150.
Even though there's a new generation coming next year.
Yeah, it's about time.
Subaru Crosstrek versus the Jeep Compass.
Oh God.
I would pick the Crosstrek.
Yeah,
The
so would I.
Crosstrek Wilderness this last week was awesome.
I'm-
So much fun. And just the regular Crosstrek is great.
I'm jealous you got the Wilderness because I got the normal one.
Yeah, they're
that I-
all awesome.
Yeah.
The Wilderness has like 9 inches of ground clearance.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
We looked it up. It's only like a ½ inch less than a 4Runner or
Yeah.
something insane.
It's really close,
Yeah.
actually.
And the Compass is a little better this year, but
I thought you said it was dreadful still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
the Ford Maverick, which is on here because of the Tremor, versus the Kia Niro.
Oh,
which,
the Tremor was cool.
which you love the Kia Niro, Chris. You've driven like
Oh my God.
every one,
And
and you
yeah,
know
my
everything
life is the
about
Kia
every
Niro. I
Kia
know.
Niro.
I've spent so much time in that car.
Which is crazy because it's still forgettable. It's cool, but it's
It
forgettable.
looks awesome. It's like an insane.
Is that the one
design.
we just had a few
It's like
weeks
the
ago?
Audi R8. No. I don't
Oh,
think I don't
yeah.
think I've had
I
one
haven't
with
driven
you.
a Kia Niro.
Really?
He hasn't had it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've driven like 50 of them.
Sorry.
Kia's even reached out to us and said, Chris, are there any cars you want to drive? And we're like, nope.
You know what?
Sorry.
Oh,
I forgot about the
we should,
Niro.
we should get the plug-in hybrid one
Okay.
for us because
You and
that's
I
the only
didn't
one
get that. Yeah.
we haven't had yet. at
That'd be
home.
great.
Well, I was thinking about the Niro when I had the Prius because I'm like,
You drove a Niro. You've driven a Niro. I'm positive. I'm gonna go on the look it up right now.
Chris says I drove a Nero.
Chris didn't remember that he drove the Sportage, so the Nero could be on there as well.
Yeah, Chris, look, that's your hands driving a Nero.
Oh yeah, I did drive a Nero 10 months ago. Maverick.
That's the thing.
Are you gonna say Maverick? Because you had one.
I also had one that broke on me and stranded us in New Mexico.
That's
so.
true.
I think the Nero is great because there's so many different flavors and it's much more practical than the Prius and looks cool as well.
And when I drove it in
You got 60
California,
miles per
I
gallon.
got like 60 mpg with Bev Braga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys decide on this one. I'm neutral.
The Maverick Tremor was really good. I really liked how well it rode both on-road and off-road. It was fairly capable. We had fun with it. You and I almost got stuck.
That's because you were driving.
And
you always like to push your luck with that.
well, you have to. You're obligated as a journalist to push the boundaries to see where the breaking point is.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll come get you.
exactly, Chris is always there for me.
Chris's off-road recovery YouTube channel. We
The
should
problem
start that.
though is the Tremor. You would lose 2,000 pounds of towing capability, and they cost a lot and they break.
Sounds like you're Nero leaning.
I think I am.
I like the Nero. It's a cool car.
Problem is Chris doesn't remember it. So
That's fine. That's okay. Colorado or Silverado?
I love them both.
The new Colorado is so great. The new Silverado is so expensive.
I liked that Colorado we had. That was just like the
Trail Boss.
The Trail Boss.
Yeah.
was that also in Vomit?
Yes, it was. It was the same color as the Corolla Cross.
Mhm.
It's like it was a trend this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the silver. I feel like since we already have the Yukon, the Silverado is great, but the High Country, that High Country was pretty dope. And for the 24 model year, they did update the exhaust so that it actually sounds proper.
And it'll do a burnout through fourth gear.
And the problem
allegedly.
with the Colorado is not only does the Tacoma exist, which is, we'll get to that, they only offer it in one configuration now. Full crew cab with a short box. Whereas both, and not the Ford either, the Nissan and the Toyota you can get in multiple configurations.
Mm.
I would pick the Silverado. I quite liked that 2500 you and I had.
All right, let's do Silverado.
I love both trucks, so I am not offended by either.
Okay, there we are, ladies and gentlemen, an hour later, and we have narrowed it down to
gosh.
32. Don't worry, it goes faster from here. So we are
Do
going
a rapid fire round.
No, we're going to move over to a little bit of our slides. So, admittedly, I was a bit pressed for time this year.
Do
putting
some of
these
the
together.
pictures not match up?
No, the pictures should match up.
Okay.
However, there are just fewer slides, so we're only going to do 2 per, and then we're going to go back to the slideshow. So, everybody, admire the quick photo of Chris right there, posing in front of his Cayman.
I love that picture.
Yeah, it's
Thank
very.
you.
Mhm.
That's like 4 years ago, or 3 years ago.
So this one here is actually, we don't pick a winner from this one, but this was inspired by the fact that I moved to California, and before even entering the state,
Is that your truck?
yes, managed to purchase a desirable
Oh, you're right, Chris. Sorry, I missed it.
rust-free 24-year-old car. So I reached out to Chris and asked them, if you had the opportunity to live in a rust-free state, which cars would you be tempted to go out and buy? And you didn't give me many, but you gave me enough to put this slide together. So Brower picked the Ford Excursion
So real.
and the Ford
Oh my
SVT
God.
Lightning.
Why are 3 of them almost?
They're all the same car.
They all take the same steering wheel.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They really do.
Well, I'd have an E28 535i with
Mhm.
a 5-speed manual.
Well, it's because you did have.
Yeah, and it rusted out in like 2 winters.
Yeah. Yep.
That's-
So this one was just kind of
Not
fun.
in my ownership.
That's before you knew about Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't mentioned Crown yet.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's
Sorry,
you
I
guys should
brought
drink
it
when
up.
I mention Crown, and we'll drink when Charlie mentions California.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, this
man.
was just kind of fun. All cars that I think would definitely be cool.
I want an SVT Lightning so bad, but they're just becoming so unobtainable.
I drove by the ultimate boomer with one the other day.
Ugh,
Just like
just
white
scam them.
hair,
Can you scam one of
not
them for me?
driving properly, just like didn't know what he had probably.
What
or
color was it?
silver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I
even
want red.
desirable. It wasn't kept up very clean.
You got to get the red one to
Yeah,
that
take
red is
overnight
cool.
parts from Japan.
And then you put the Racer's Edge sticker on the door.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I also love an Excursion because then you could have kind of like your camping setup sort of thing.
Get
But then
But
live
you
in
could
it.
get to it. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, actually, you'll appreciate this. The sliding rear window of the Super Duty is large enough that I can crawl through
Really?
and get to my camper setup in the back of the truck just through that back
Would
window.
it just be easier to get out of it and walk around to the back?
Well, what if you don't have shoes on? Because what if you leave something in your cab?
Oh.
Then you don't want to put your shoes on,
Right,
crawl out the
yeah.
back, get around. You just right
Is
there.
that your Super Duty?
That is my Super Duty.
Oh,
Isn't that
wow.
sharp?
That's nice.
Yeah,
I got him a new steering wheel for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's also having many thousands of dollars of steering work done to it as we
Are
speak.
you doing all that to it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
So you're hanging on to it then, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm in it. Yeah.
Super Duty.
Yes. The next one. The best EV for 2023. Hyundai Ioniq
Wow.
6.
3 out of 4 aren't stock photos.
BMW i7. Chevy Bolt EV. I could have done a non-stock photo for this one, too. And the
Yeah, you own
Rolls-Royce
that
Spectre.
car. Why is it a stock photo?
Because it was just in there from last year.
Oh my goodness.
And the winner is, all these quite good, the Hyundai Ioniq 6.
Oh.
Quite
Who
fantastic
came to that
little car.
conclusion? I think that's my picture.
It
Did I
is.
take that picture?
That looks like a me angle, doesn't it?
I think I took that
That's from
picture.
that
You might
drive
have.
we did.
It is from that drive.
Half
That's
Moon
the green
Lake.
one.
Yep. Mhm.
Amos and I drove a green one. You drove not a green one.
Correct. That's why I think I took. Oh, but are you
But
saying you
that's the
came
green
down?
one,
and-
though.
That is.
Yeah.
That's a dark green.
I had green interior too. It's cool.
Wow. Kurt Kreifel said drove an SVT supercharged modified one. Lightning
You did?
was the loudest tire shredding vehicle
Oh.
I've ever driven. Wow.
Kirk, you're making me excited.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Do you guys need a break at all or anything?
No.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
Let's power through here. F-Type R versus the Huracan from Lamborghini.
The Huracan might be my favorite supercar. It might be my new dream car.
So tell us about that. Why? Because you also said you
I-
liked the MC20.
Honestly, I've been kind of getting bored of supercars lately. Like the 911s have been great, but I don't know if I'd actually want to shell out $200,000 to buy one. The Lamborghini Huracan kind of reminded me of how a supercar should make you feel, how it should sound, how it should be insane all the time, and just get your adrenaline pumping. And I think they're worth the price of entry. If that is like a dream car.
Mm-hmm.
Huracan is kind of my new dream car. It overtook the GT3.
Yeah, there is a very unique feeling and vibration and sense you get driving that Huracan that you just don't get in any other car.
Yeah, the
Like,
STO
it's
was
just
insane.
unbelievable.
So you don't think at half the price, or maybe even a third of the price, the F-Type is giving you a third of that experience or half of that experience?
No, because they've dumbed down the F-Type exhaust.
Yeah, so
Really?
it's not as loud anymore.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
Even compared to like the one we had for the DM Rally?
The R75 it wouldn't as much as the.
That should have been the loudest one they've ever made.
No, it's not though.
Yeah, no, I'd still pick Huracan.
Huracan's, well, honestly, both of them aren't loud until you hit 3,000 RPM though.
Doesn't the Huracan have weird...
The Huracan's
It's
quiet,
like so
too,
quiet until
yeah.
it all of a sudden crests that, and it's like the loudest
Then
thing.
it
on
gives
the
Yeah.
people heart attacks
Yeah.
outside of you.
Yeah, the
I-
F-Type's the same way.
I was blown away by the STO in the Technica that we had in the spring. Oddly enough, the Storado, super cool because it was very usable and you could actually get in and out of parking lots and everything like that. And the motor is still fantastic, but by making it more livable and less punishing,
Yeah.
it therefore became less exciting.
It's
Yeah.
funny. The STO the ride was very forgiving on Michigan
Really?
roads,
Wow.
except in the sport mode, whatever that's called.
Okay.
Uh,
Corsa.
Strata.
Well,
Corsa.
Corsa's track. So
Yeah, Corsa.
yeah, Strata.
Huracan.
Yes. Sorry, I'm reading chat. Sorry.
All right.
Can we do a top 5 to 10 car sound system ranking? I think Charlie's working on an updated video for that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm
he'll
forcing
make
myself
that
to
he'll make
finish it.
that for you soon. He will.
I'm gonna use the restroom. Talk amongst yourselves.
Z4
Yeah,
M40i.
actually, while he does that, let's catch up on chat here. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
guys. We're just trying to bust through this here. Kryptonics, thank you. Glad that you like the best of the year videos. Kia K5. We haven't driven a K5 in a while, but I remember the K5 being fine.
That Huracan STO video was one of my favorite videos I've ever filmed. It was like the perfect morning drive.
The lighting was great.
The lighting was amazing.
Yeah.
It was fall colors. There wasn't any traffic. Oh, that was fun. Are we considering price in these evaluations?
Yes, because
yes and no.
they're-
Yes, mostly yes.
the evaluation is, for the most part, how well does the car do its job for the segment that it's in. So like obviously an F-Type versus a Huracan, like they're very, very far apart in price, but like for your 300,000 versus for your 100,000, where's the better value? If that makes sense, I don't know. But that's kind of probably how Charlie would put it. Although Charlie would say, "Oh, there's no value at all in an F-Type or a Lamborghini because they're pleasure cars," or whatever he says. I don't know.
Networking.
Do you watch Scotty Kilmer? No, I'm scared of him.
Every now and then I click on one of those videos to see if
He's
they're
so-
actually clickbait or not.
He's like big threatening energy from Scotty Kilmer.
Is he still making videos?
Yeah, he's killing it.
Thoughts
What-
on people who
Kilmer?
cut up? I see videos of people crashing all the time from cutting up. There's this guy that films
cutting
himself. Cutting up is like weaving traffic, going like 100.
I thought you're only supposed to do that on motorcycles.
No, people do
Like
it in
God,
cars.
it's
I saw one of a guy in a Mercedes and like his airbags went off in his face. It's funny. With the M340i so famous, the M550i is under the radar. Yeah, that's true. Although I don't think they make an M550i anymore, do they?
Why not?
It died in 2023 with the last gen, and they're not doing a new one for 24. I don't think.
Because it's the M60 now?
Yeah, it's the i5, but I don't think they're going to put a V8 in the. Maybe they will. I don't know. I guess I don't necessarily know.
B58
I
is
have,
enough.
I have driven an M550i though, like freaking million years ago when they were brand new in like 2018 or whatever, and I thought it was cool. What else? Merry Christmas, Holden. Video soon with the refreshed Elantra N. I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Watch a Scotty once urged to buy a 91 Camry or a Celica or whatever he has, MR2, whatever it is. You hear drums because there's a band in the room right next to us, and this happens every year. Charlie makes sure he schedules us. He texts the lead singer of the band, and he makes sure that they're going to be playing while we're here.
Let's keep it rolling. We
All
got
right.
a lot to get through.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
All right,
it
there
goes
was-
a lot quicker after
That,
this. 'cause
that
we
was
don't
me
have to discuss
catching
as
up with
much.
chat.
MC20 from Maserati versus the Z4 M40i. You know, I really feel like I should have just made this the normal Z4. It's just been so long since we've driven the normal Z4 that I didn't feel comfortable putting it in there as well. But
I'd go Z4 because
I'd go
I
Z4
was
as
too-
well.
you know, as fun as the MC20
Uh-oh,
is.
what just happened?
Oh. Did we drop?
Why did that do that? You can keep talking. Chris.
Okay, sorry. As fun as the MC20 is, I was just clenched the whole time we had it. So, because it's like very flashy, you know, doors that go up. I just thought I was going to be carjacked the whole time we had it. So,
Did you feel that way with the Lambo?
yes. But the Lambo is more fun to drive than the MC20, so it's more worth it.
I think it'd be kind of cool to have a Huracan versus MC20, but I think the Z4 is a good ode to remember why convertibles are so cool, and just driving. It's a reminder that a car can just be there for the purpose of being goofy and fun, and
Yeah.
just like, I spent too much money on this, but I don't care, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's ugly and there's no room to put anything. It's like an expensive Miata.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
I love that car.
yeah.
Does Elantra N really make 276 horsepower? I think so. It feels like it does.
Why is Is this it?
The problem is you're not
That's
able
weird.
to like launch it off the line because it wheel hops so bad that you can't feel the initial bite.
You guys see this? It's not letting me choose the right car. It's
Maybe
giving
you-
me XM.
Huh.
Can I write it in? Let's see. Okay. All right. Moving on to the Porsche 911 versus the Porsche GT4 RS.
Oh, that's the GT4 RS because the Cayman's better than the 911.
Same. Agreed. Let's move on.
Boom.
We had the GT4 RS at the same time as the 911T.
Yeah. Don't say it because you're wrong.
The time driving the 911 was just so nice and pure, and you could ring out the gears and your ears weren't ringing afterward, and it was just such a pure driving experience.
Yeah, I just want to vibrate though in the Porsche.
The GT4 RS was like having to go to a rave anytime you drove your car. It was just like, wow, this is a lot.
Yeah, I love that.
Charlie's outnumbered.
Yeah,
Okay.
GT4 RS for
GT4 RS.
sure.
I did quite like the GT4 RS.
Oh my god, imagine that wins car of the year. That would be iconic.
They'd have to give us one then.
Are you guys Michigan? Yes. Well, two of us are.
I can't say where I'm from because then Chris will
We'll
get
have to
pissed.
Yes, we're excited for the Ioniq 5N. That's going to be cool.
Kia EV6 versus the BMW 5 Series. I think EV6 is a great car.
I think EV6 too.
It's just, yeah.
It's annoyingly good.
Oh, God.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you guys are going to pick the EV6 over the GT4 RS
I
next,
don't,
right?
No, I won't.
Okay, cool. I won't either.
Maybe we'll let 5 Series be eligible next year too because we haven't got much.
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
Now, someone who's owned both, BRZ versus GTI, I think
Oh,
we
yeah,
know
there
which
you
one
go.
you're
I
going to
keep
pick.
buying BRZs.
You haven't kept buying GTIs.
And unlike all the other YouTubers out there, I haven't sold mine yet.
I
so
like Chris's BRZ
shots fired.
much better than the way it comes from the factory.
Well, the cool thing, all you have to do to the factory ones is unplug something, and then it's 80% as good as.
And you
Amos's.
got to fix the throttle response and the clutch feel.
You know, though, I actually took my pedal commander off this last week, and I've been enjoying it.
Well, because that's the Amos way is to mod things and then
And then
demod them.
demod it, yeah.
That's true.
And then make a video about both.
Yeah.
You're really just scamming your viewers.
Oh, no.
Look at the thing I did. All right, I undid the thing.
I like going back and forth.
Poor Charlotte.
I know.
Oh my God.
Luckily, it's only with cars.
I think the BRZ and the GR86 are cool. And I like that they have back seats. Even though they're small, they still exist. So if Chris wanted to take his wife and his 2 sons, he could do that in the BRZ. Like, it's possible to do. He couldn't in the GTI because he'd kill them all trying to change the temperature.
We'd crash and die.
Brower, do you have any feedback?
No, I'm all in for GR86.
Okay. Another Amos special, the Integra versus the Civic. I would pick Civic because the Integra lineup is too niche. They should have made the normal Integra more accessible. And I just don't think anyone really cares. I don't think that car is going to last more than 6 years. Whereas the Civic is excellent.
The Civic is quite excellent.
The only problem is the Civic,
The Integra is the better overall car, though.
yeah. But
And
do you think
I
it's
even
worth the
think
price
that
bump?
with Type R versus Type S.
Do you think it's at Type S is worth the price bump of the Type R?
Well,
Like compared?
this last year, you could buy a Type S for the price of a Type R with
But we
markups.
can't talk about markups. We got to just be.
But that's the reality. Type Rs and Type S's cost the same money.
All right, so let's look at SI versus Integra.
You could even argue that SIs and Integras cost the same money because we've seen a lot of markups on SIs.
I will give a point to the Integra because you can get an automatic.
Yeah.
Whereas you cannot get an
The
automatic Civic
CVT
SI.
We haven't driven any CVT Integras. Have you guys driven a CVT Integra?
No.
It was awesome. It was
Okay.
really good.
I believe
I
you.
drove some at the launch. It was great. I would actually,
Are you talking yourself into Integra?
I would almost rather have a CVT Integra than a 6-speed manual.
Yeah, well, because the 6-speed manual lags so much. There's so
Yeah.
much rev hang.
Yeah.
And there's no feel to that
Tricky
engine.
to drive. Yeah, I would say Integra, even though I own a Civic.
Brower?
I like the Integra's ELS sound system.
And Bose is pretty decent in the
Bose is
Civic,
good too, though, in the Type R.
I
was breaking in Chris's speakers on the way to wherever we were going, track day.
I just had the Civic Sport Hatch Touring manual, and it was a 2022 model year.
Excellent.
It had 10,000 miles on it. And these are journalist manual transmission car miles.
That's 100,000 miles.
Felt brand new. I didn't know what to do for Winding Road because it showed up and it was a 2022, and I was like, we've already filmed this car. So I did a back road blast. I flogged it so hard the brakes were on fire when I stopped to do the final walk
my
around.
goodness.
I had to get back in and continue driving to cool them off.
Should we? That's awesome. Should we pick the Civic just because it's a more like cohesive, complete lineup?
I don't know because Civic already won,
Yeah.
so I don't really want to give it to it again.
Teggy.
Let's do the Teggy. The
I
Type
like-
S.
I like
is
the
The Type S
one
is
of the
so
best cars
good.
I've driven.
It's so
ever.
good.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, and that's why I keep making my Type R like a Type S.
Volkswagen Jetta versus the Ford Bronco. I'm gonna pick the Jetta.
I'm gonna pick the Bronco.
I really
guys do
liked
this
that
to me?
Bronco we had.
Oh, the Heritage Bronco.
Also,
was
don't
great.
forget about the Braptor.
I didn't like the.
None of us liked
I
the-
didn't love the Bronco
I
Raptor.
like the Braptor.
Yeah, but I guess you. I don't know
You
if
can't drift a Jetta.
Charlie, why is the Wrangler 392 not on this list?
Oh yeah, what
I
the
didn't.
heck?
I didn't drive it.
Well, I didn't drive the tracks, and it's on the list.
You're driven. You're right. A Wrangler. I think Wrangler 392 was on last year, and we offed it.
That's the best car we drove this year, but
So
you guys
good.
don't get to see it because it's not on the list.
Actually, it's because we haven't driven the new facelifted Wrangler yet.
Yes, we have.
Well,
Or-
you have. I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't driven the tracks
Well,
or
it's,
the Honda CR-V.
it's not the Topher Drive's car of the year. Once you put this all together, you can put the 392 on there. My problem with the Bronco is I just worry about Ford. Yes.
We were talking about this earlier about how the 2012 Focus was the start of the demise.
I'm nervous. I'd be nervous about owning a Bronco and having it not be broken.
I mean, the roof is gonna leak.
Charlie is trolling, you're right.
It's gonna rattle. The engine's probably gonna explode. But it's so much fun until it does all those things.
It's got a warranty. Just
And
buy
then-
the extended warranty.
The Jetta could explode too. You know, everything is exploding these days.
The only thing I like about the Jetta, like all joking aside, is the fact that, kind of like the Civic, it's an affordable car that we've actually bothered to talk about. You know what I mean? Like most affordable cars, it's just like, okay, on to the next thing. What does the Bronco start at? Like 40 grand now?
No, like 30. For
Really?
The base
No,
model?
they got rid of the base.
I was gonna say they
It
got rid of
doesn't
the
exist
base
anymore for 24.
Well,
the
just-
base is now a Big Bend,
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's like 35.
probably. Yeah.
So you're spending.
Which is still
Maybe
less than the
40
average.
grand.
Price of a new car.
Yeah.
Bronco. It's so good.
I really like the Bronco.
Yeah.
And I also like. Yeah.
And I don't think you can say like Ford's reliability is much better than Volkswagen's at this point, honestly.
Volkswagen.
That 1.4 is pretty known though. What about the no push for the Jetta GLI? We didn't drive it this year, so
I
know
didn't love the GLI. Well, it's okay, but
Yeah.
start
Alright.
your build. I'm
stupid
seeing
Bronco again.
40 grand,
See, you got to spend $40,000
grand.
to get into that Bronco.
and that's
You
that's
look
for a
so cool.
that's
dude.
for
You
a
look like a
two-door.
tool.
That's for a 2-door base model.
You look
Big
like such a
Bend.
cool tool doing it.
If you buy a Jetta, if you see someone driving a new Jetta, you're like, oh, they made a good car choice. Good on them. You know, they spent their money wisely. They probably have the rest of it invested.
Diamond.
Jetta
If you
is
see somebody in a
kind
Bronco,
of-
you go, all right, congratulations.
There's a little bit of Ultima energy to a Jetta driver, though.
Shots fired.
Like
You
I always,
hearing
see,
this,
I always
Chris?
see Jetta drivers like weaving through traffic, running red lights,
Cutting up, as they say.
cutting up.
I'm not letting the Bronco get to the final four.
Jetta-
That's
That's
good in the Starbucks drive-through.
All right, Ioniq 6 or GR Corolla?
The only I quite like the GR Corolla, but they're braking a lot.
They are a bit breaky.
So, and I haven't heard of anybody breaking their Ioniq 6s yet.
The Ioniq 6 though isn't an N yet.
No, but
You will be though.
the Ioniq 6 you can get with what, a 375 mile range on the SE rear-wheel drive version, and it will charge 10 to 80% in something like 18 minutes. I mean, that's
Problem is,
fantastic.
the GR Corolla is one of the I think best, most fun enthusiast cars I've driven in the last like decade. As long as you don't take it out on track, it won't break.
When we first drove, and I like to speckle some actual useful info into these. When we first drove the GR Corolla, I said absolutely I'd have that over the Civic. But after the track day and after spending time actually driving the Morizo out there, everything like that, I'd have your Civic. It's a cooler,
Oh, yeah,
it's
me
just a
too,
better
for sure.
car.
Yeah, but would you have it over an Ioniq 6?
No, I'd have the Ioniq 6 because I had them both that week.
Chris, what would you rather have?
The GR Corolla.
I would have the GR Corolla.
This one's not. You guys got Bronco. I'm getting Ioniq 6.
What? But you're outnumbered.
The GR Corolla's a silly car.
Charlie already said that this is his.
Oh, yeah.
We're just here
It's
for entertainment
That's right.
purposes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Really, I should have included the whole Corolla lineup because I did drive a normal Corolla
yeah.
earlier this year. It's quite good.
Would that include the Corolla Cross?
No.
No, that has its own
They
thing
need a GR Corolla Cross.
with a CVT.
7 Series versus Aria. I'd pick the 7 Series.
Yeah, this has got to be the 7 Series.
Easy one. X7 versus Grand Highlander. I
I'm go-
love the X7, but I
Yeah.
also love the Grand Highlander.
Does this include the Alpina?
Yes.
That's like my favorite SUV.
You could get the X7 with a B58 all the way up to the Alpina, and I think that's fantastic.
That's pretty awesome.
But the
I
Grand
just-
Highlander is
It's the most Toyota of all
It's
time.
so usable. Like
you can
it's
tow
so
with it. You
easy.
can put 8 people in it comfortably. You can have a hybrid. You can have a
They
normal.
fixed all the rattles that our 2021 hybrid has.
It looks kind of cool.
Uh,
I think so, especially in the inside with those cool like bronze bits.
as far like factoring in price, I would say Grand Highlander.
Chris 360 whipped the GR Corolla in one of his shakedown videos.
What does 360 whipped mean?
Uh,
Oh, like he.
at Jackson, when you did a handbrake turn.
That's pretty cool. It is nice that it's got a normal handbrake. Your Civic doesn't have a handbrake, does it?
Oh wait, we
it's
picked
so boring to
we
drive
picked
in the
Grand
winter.
Highlander.
Yeah, well, you weren't looking.
I
I'm
know,
sorry,
I love
X7.
the Grand Highlander.
If it were the
It's-
X5, I'd pick it. This
the-
new X5 has a chance of winning next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new X5 is going to be
The
good.
Grand Highlander is nice because it's just so easy. Like anyone could get that car, have an irritating family of children, and still be able to like function and not have to worry about the third row folding down properly like you'd have to in the X7.
Next year, I'm going to get us all into the new Sequoia Wilderness or Woodland edition.
Are they making that?
Mm-hmm. Well, they've already made it. It's out now, and you could have had one.
Sequoia
For
Woodland?
No, sorry. Sienna.
Okay,
Sienna
I was
Woodland.
gonna say because
Sorry.
Sequoia would be a
Is that
TRD
all-wheel
Pro.
drive and lifted?
I don't think it's lifted. I don't know. Somebody look it up. Tell us in the comments.
Okay.
But yeah, I
Does
would
it have
like.
all-terrain tires?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
I know.
Oh my
oh,
god!
yeah, like the RAV4 Woodland.
Yeah,
a
exactly.
spec'd up, like a fully spec'd Grand Highlander, would get you a base X7. That's hilarious.
Also,
Really?
does that include Lexus TX? Because
No.
the Lexus Texas was awesome.
It was until you remember that the Grand Highlander cost $20,000 less for the same powertrain.
Sure.
Because I had the TX this last week in the 500H.
Oh, yeah. That
And
was
it
my
was-
favorite one.
It was good.
Yeah.
But the Grand Highlander exists.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
I already know what's gonna win this.
Yeah, I got to pick the Accord. The Yukon's dumb. The Accord's so
You gotta
good.
go Accord. Yeah. I mean, the Yukon is one of 4 choices between the Escalade and, the
I'd
other-
pick either the cheapest one or the most expensive. I don't think
Exactly.
being in the middle is a
Yeah.
smart choice.
Yeah, just
Somebody put it in my comment section, I think, like, oh, what did he
Just-
say? Drake drives the Escalade, but his entourage drives the Yukon or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you drive the Escalade. G90 versus Volvo S60.
The Volvo.
I'd pick the Volvo.
the Volvo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Watch that win this year.
It needs to because a Volvo needs to win at some point.
Chevy Trax versus CX-5. Shoot, this is tough.
The
I haven't
Mazda,
driven the
I haven't
Trax,
driven
and
the
I don't
Chevy
remember
Trax.
You guys have driven the
CX-5.
you've driven the Invista.
Yeah.
Can we call?
I
we
will
call
say
Tedward
one
real
thing
fast?
about the Invista
Call
is
Tedward.
that it's smelly.
Call Tedward.
Oh, that's a big
one of
problem.
you call him up, because my phone's being the camera. Call him up. If he answers, just ask him, would he pick a Chevy Trax or the CX-5 for car of the year? This is like our phone.
I'm out
friend.
of my latte.
Oh, did you make that latte at home?
I did.
Would you pick a Chevy Trax or a Mazda CX-5? And
For-
why?
So I've never driven a Mazda CX-5.
How can you be a
Under what
journalist?
circumstances are we selecting this? Is it for drivability, value?
This
Car-
is
car
for
of the
the
year.
Daily Motor Car of the Year live stream. Currently
Yeah, well,
live.
no, I guess, but all right. So here's the thing about the Chevy Trax. The Chevy Trax is such an ace in the hole for an affordable vehicle. What does a CX-5 cost? What's the base of a CX-5?
Like 26.
26-ish, maybe a little bit less.
So the top end of a Trax.
So the top end of a Trax. I don't know enough about reliability on that CX-5. I just
the
know that
Trax.
I enjoyed my time in the Trax more than I anticipated because I think the Trax really grew up, and I think it shows that Chevy understands that there's a need for inexpensive cars that drive well and aren't embarrassing to be seen in.
What he said.
Yeah. I agree,
Um,
but you've just reminded me about how cheap the Mazda CX-5 starts, so now I'm going to pick the CX-5.
And that's fine. I haven't driven the Mazda, so I can't speak to it. I just know that I can sing a little bit of praises for the Trax in a world of horrific inflation where we're all very
Yeah.
casual about $75,000 cars.
No, he's right.
Trax
Yeah.
deserves an honorable mention.
Yeah,
I think so.
No, it's really good. I feel bad that these
Also,
two
the
have to go up
CX-5's
against
been the same for like 50 years.
Which
That's
has its
true.
merits.
And to be fair, the Invista, the Buick version of the Trax, fixes the number one problem I have with the Trax, which is that the armrest on the door is too hard, and they added less
something
than
I
a
would complain
millimeter
about.
of padding on it, and it really made it all the difference.
Well, Amos has the Invista right now, and he said it's pretty brown and pretty good.
It's okay. It's an
Yeah.
alright car.
Yeah. It is blue
Let's-
contrast
It's
stitching.
okay.
All right.
Let's also applaud the fact that they used a proper torque converter automatic. And
Yes.
not CVT.
6-speed, yeah.
Yeah.
They both have 6-speed automatics, actually.
Yeah, it just drives well.
Good for them. Look at us actually having two cheap vehicles to argue about.
Yes.
Good job, auto industry.
Well, we love you and miss you, Tom. And we're gonna try to figure out what the best car of 23 is.
We might call you back again. Stay tuned.
Okay, I'll be seeing you guys very soon anyway. Good luck. I think there's no losers in this game right now. I think the fact that this is even a conversation speaks volumes to both vehicles.
Well, don't worry, they're not actually for the finals. This is round of 32, so we got a long ways to go.
There's no way these are finalists. They're in the cards. They're in play.
It's going to be S60 versus GT4 RS.
Versus
literally.
Bronco.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right,
See you,
thanks.
man.
Good luck.
Any opposition to CX-5?
I want to be Tedward when I grow up.
He's so good at just rattling stuff
So
off.
good at
Where did
being
he
good.
get that presentation skill? Like, was his mother like a Price is Right like host person or like game show where he can just like? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Any CX-5 good.
CRV or Prius?
Okay.
I've driven neither, so I don't know.
I'd pick the C.
CRV is so usable. The Prius is compromised.
I don't think the Prius is going to make it past this generation.
Yeah.
Because why? You have to look me in the face honestly as like a parent or something like that and tell me you'd buy a Prius.
I couldn't. It's too small.
I only see it being relevant for like a traveling salesman.
I just wish Toyota put that level of engineering and quality and feel into some of their other products.
New Camry.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see.
You sat in it, right?
Yeah, we'll find out. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Honestly, like even the Crown didn't have it.
Wow.
Like I think
The new
Prius
Prius
drives
is
better than the
really
Crown.
good, and
Yeah.
everything in it feels so much better than just about every other Toyota.
Yeah.
All right. CRV.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ford F-150 versus the Subaru Crosstrek. I'd pick the Crosstrek.
Yeah, me
Same.
too.
Wow. Okay.
That was quick.
Nero versus Silverado.
Yeah, that could have been F-150 versus Silverado.
Mm-hmm. There's some intentionality to this.
Yeah. Crosstrek and Nero are kind of somewhat in the same segment.
Doesn't matter. We're looking for the best car.
It's true. It doesn't matter.
I like the Silverado because it does good burnout.
Let's do the Silverado. That High Country is pretty dope.
Yeah, the fact that GM has done so much with their interiors for this year.
And the
That's good.
ZR1 finally has a proper exhaust.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a round of 16 ahead of us.
ZR2.
Not too bad. Let's switch on over back
Didn't
to
the High Country had the active exhaust also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the best manual car that we drove this year. A Lotus Emira, which I haven't driven yet, but I've heard from both of you. Quite fun.
Lovely
Quite
car.
good.
Porsche 911, again, might not be Carrera T, it might just be T. And the Honda Civic Type R, which Honda manuals, man, so good. Even the stupid little Civic Sport Touring hatch I had was such a good manual. And then the Miata, which I actually haven't driven this year, but I'm very familiar
It's the
with.
same car.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not. It now comes in zircon sand metallic.
That's true, which actually does look kind of cool.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't get a Miata in it because Soul Red Crystal exists.
That's right.
Winner is Lotus Emira. And not even necessarily just because it's such a great manual, but because kudos to a supercar builder for putting a manual transmission in a car.
That was a great car. It did have a bad wind noise.
I would
over
agree.
85 though.
The Type R's manual is a little bit too light. The shift
Oh.
action is a little bit light. It
Okay.
doesn't have a lot of as much feel as you would expect. It's very delicate, which
Okay.
is nice, but I could use a little bit more resistance. What was the other car? What were the other cars?
The Miata
Miata
and 911.
Oh yeah, the 911 just felt plasticky.
Mm.
The shifter felt plasticky.
Porsche
Okay.
shifters peaked with like
Your car?
my car.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, the 981s are good too though.
the Miata's
Okay.
still pretty perfect.
Miata's really good. Except, Chris, every time you drive a Miata, you talk about how much better the S2000 and the BRZ are.
Yeah, but the problem is you have to just do like 2 modifications to your Miata, and it's the best car ever.
Okay. Fair
Like
enough.
Victor's car.
Exactly.
Next, the biggest surprise. We have the Volkswagen Jetta, which we've talked about ad nauseum tonight.
Jetta was so surprising.
The Ford F-150 Raptor
That's a great
R.
picture of its drifting.
That is actively Amos drifting it from his video, directly screen capped.
I don't know if I guess the Raptor R was surprisingly fast.
And surprisingly charismatic, I
It was,
think.
it
Because the
was.
normal Raptor is so sterile compared to that.
Lightning Corsair was surprisingly bad.
Yes, that's why it is there.
$60,000 for a Ford Escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a horrible car.
A worse Escape.
and then the RS5 Comp, which I haven't driven, but I'm taking both of your
Loved
words
that
for.
car. Oh,
That was
God,
quite
I love
That was
that
dope.
car.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? There was like an MTM tuning house that used to modify Audis back in like the early 20-teens.
Skunk
Okay.
Works.
It was like, it reminded me of like a factory tuner special. It was pretty sweet.
I'm surprised because Audis don't often have a lot of like chutzpah these days.
It
didn't
so-
understeer like they always do.
It was
like
neutral.
It like felt so balanced.
Yeah. And it was on winter tires, which was fun.
Yeah, so you could slide it a little bit.
Quick comment point out that read something or other said, I'm still laughing that Charlie has a background picture of the Maverick and chose a Kia Niro. Hey, man, Kia Niro is good. And the Maverick backstabbed us, so, you know, it's dead to me. Biggest surprise was the Ford F-150 Raptor R. And just for me, it just went from such a truck that got beat by the TRX in every way to all of a sudden, oh, I would have this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, and I remember Brower and I standing there and just hearing in the distance
Oh my god.
you just screaming.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Ford full sent that.
It was like there was a Yeti
Yeah.
creeping around the woods.
I respect that. All right, here we are coming into the we loved them choices. Now we actually have to start trying a little bit, guys.
Yeah. It's hard work
Lamborghini
getting here.
Huracan, BMW Z4. The Huracan's going away soon.
Z4 probably isn't that long for this world.
We're gonna get like 1 year of the manual and then they'll just kill it.
I want to do the Huracan partially because the Storado exists, and you guys will be driving the Storado in February.
Oh, are we?
Mhm.
Oh, very good. That's cool.
Yes, even though it was less charismatic than the STO and the Technica, you got to give Lamborghini kudos for letting their engineers just build something fun and stupid. And I kept thinking of your BRZ the whole time because I was like, people want a usable supercar experience. You know, they want to just be able to like. I never had to worry about like going into parking lots. I never had to worry about like normal supercar considerations because I had big, meaty all-terrain tires, and I
You
just
could drive it down a dirt road.
yeah, they wouldn't
Yeah.
let me, but you could theoretically.
yeah.
Oh, you
Never
weren't
do
allowed to
that
take it
with
off
an
road.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and you know the Z4 is a really cool car. I do think BMW deserves kudos for giving it more attention for this year,
Yeah.
and I like that it's convertible.
It's the better Supra that's a BMW.
Yeah, and more honest about it. It could look better though.
It's a bit weird looking.
It's
Yeah.
a bit weird. Yeah.
Huracan.
Z4.
All right, Huracan it is. Next, MC20. Wait, no, sorry. GT4 RS versus Kia EV6.
GT4 RS.
GT4 RS.
All right, let's think.
And this is when the Daily Motor.
Yeah, this
Let's-
is when we get
Well,
Well,
vetoed,
let's
yeah.
at least. I want you guys to be fully committed to this. Do you guys think it's worth the price?
The GT4 RS?
Yes.
Which price?
Whatever price you have to pay, because Amos said we have to consider markups.
Okay, so $300,000.
Yes.
Definitely not.
As much as a Huracan to get the GT4 RS.
I'd rather have the GT4 RS, honestly.
I would go get like a $50,000 Porsche CPO
That's true. You could just
981.
yeah, you could just do that.
And I
take the
think that's
engine-
kind of the problem with the GT4 RS. Porsche's gotten so full of itself.
that is a problem.
Porsche
lately.
pricing has gotten out of control.
Yeah.
Like the 911 what's the Dakar? No, it's
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
no, that's,
yeah, the
that's what it's
Dakar.
called. 911 Dakar.
911 Dakar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a 911 with a lift kit.
They're like 200,000 over sticker.
It's ridiculous.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
selling for like $500,000 on.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you can get a Huracan Storado for like just about sticker probably.
Go buy a BRZ, put a $500
There you
lift
go.
kit on it, and $600 worth of all terrains, and be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I loved the GT4 RS. I just don't like how Porsche has to be so pretentious about it. You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't the normal Cayman just be more wild? Why does it have to be the super rare special one that sells out for
'Cause
everything?
that's just how it is.
The GT4 RS is too expensive, and the EV6 is so cheap.
It's so cheap, and it's just there. You could
Yeah.
just go to a Kia dealer and buy one. Now,
And
the
they're-
problem is you got to go to a Kia dealer.
They're
But
going to depreciate soon here too to like 30 grand.
yeah, and they give you good range. I fit my entire fat tire fat tire mountain bike, and another mountain bike
Oh,
on
yeah.
top in the EV6 GT. And then the next day, I put gardening things in it, and then the next day we drove it on track.
Let's appreciate that the GT4 RS is one of the best Porsches we've ever driven. It sounds amazing.
It was awesome.
All right.
Sorry, Brower. I can't.
It's just too expensive.
Yeah. And it's so expensive that wouldn't you rather just have...
I did like the Huracan more than GT4 RS.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather just have one that's cheap enough that you could actually enjoy driving it, like like a 981?
Steering wasn't amazing in the GT4 RS. Did you like the steering in the GT4 RS?
It's hard to tell. I was just listening to it the whole time.
Yeah, I
I
know.
didn't pay attention to anything else. I couldn't. Chris isn't going to talk for the rest of the night.
No, sorry, I was just deep in thought. I would like to have a 981. I think a 981 GT4 may be your best value, or a 981 GTS.
Yeah.
Because
GTS, I've heard of the
those
sweet
were
spot.
still 6-cylinder back in the 981 generation.
Mhm.
I guess now they are too.
Those
'cause
are in
of
like the
GTS 4 liter.
70s.
Yeah.
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 So I mean, you
GT4s
figure
are
you'd say-
climbing.
yeah, they're
Eventually, the
going up.
Porsche bubble is going to drop and
I
like
hope
pop,
so.
and then all of a sudden, those things that people paid a $200,000 markup for are just
Yeah.
going to. Yeah. BRZ and GR86 versus the Integra. This is interesting. The Integra looks cool. I think they're a bit pricey, but I think you could actually go into an Acura dealer and get one that you wanted for sticker. And I know people are still kind of having trouble getting GR86s and BRZs that they want, like the right spec and everything.
I don't know. It's got to be GR86 BRZ. It's just one of the best sports cars.
I don't love the motor, but at least you can make it quieter like yours.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brower?
If I had to pick one to live with, I'd have the Integra, but I enjoy driving the BRZ more.
I think as a manual driving experience, the BRZ GR86 is more satisfying.
I think as an automatic, it's more satisfying too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're talking six-speed auto versus CVT,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can't get a Type S in an automatic. The Type S was a fantastic driving experience, and I think if I had to daily drive a manual car, the Integra Type S would be near the top.
Oh yeah, I
It was just so
forgot
good.
about the Type S. Yeah, the Type
Oh,
S
yeah.
is freaking. Oh my god, it's
So-
such a good car. They should have made the back of it match the front, but
I
apart from that, it's great.
I think my BRZ and my Type R are equally fun to drive.
Okay, well then here's
Pops and burbles.
here's the rest of it. What do you think is going to be an easier ownership experience? Because Type
they'll-
R,
they'll
I
be
think,
the
was
same.
better out of the pocket, out of the gate.
Yeah.
Which
Type S is just expensive, and you can get a
It is.
BRZ GR86 for under 30 grand.
Is
Like,
the
value
whole
there is insane.
BRZ's exploding, turning right thing, is that blown out of proportion?
They're super reliable cars.
Well, no, that's
It's
what I'm saying.
totally
Is, was it blown out of proportion?
Yeah,
Because
it's-
every sort of reliability issue like that, it happens to two cars
There
and then
are
it explodes.
like the
tons of
Porsches
people out
with the
there
like
IRAC.
like Porsches, yeah.
There are tons of people out there tracking their cars every weekend, and we've heard of a handful of failures initially. They've been on forums. They got a bunch of press. It's not a big deal. Like, you go to the dealer, you ask, how many BRZ motors have you replaced? They're like, none. It's super reliable. What are you talking about?
Here's the deciding factor for me. Integra is not true to what people expected the Integra to be, whereas the GR86 and BRZ is potentially the most honest car out there right now in terms of just like sports car. Here you go.
That and Miata, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm GR86. You
Alright.
good with that, Brower?
I like both cars, so whatever.
This is going to be a tough one. Bronco versus Ioniq 6. All right, let's think. First off,
You guys chose Ioniq 6 over GR Corolla? Yeah,
Yep.
old man Charlie did that.
Yeah, it should have been
Should have
GR
been
Corolla
GR
versus
Corolla.
Bronco.
Yeah.
That's okay. We love you, Charlie.
thank you.
We'll give you something.
All right. What
give
are they
you
both
this.
like to drive? The Bronco is awesome to drive in manual.
Not awesome. To
Not
drive with
great
the
to drive with the automatic. The Raptor exists and it's cool, but I was underwhelmed.
I agree with that.
The Ioniq 6 is easy to drive, not necessarily engaging, but fine.
It does do little all-wheel drive drifts around corners.
Does it? What tires was it on?
I don't know, but if you push it hard.
You guys, yeah, I remember that you flogged it really hard during that live stream you did. Amos drove it, and you were live streaming out at the First Drive event, and you said that he drifted it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
You
that.
can also drift the Bronco. This
The-
is the deciding factor I use when I buy cars.
Can you drift?
Yeah.
Will it drift? The Ioniq 6 is a bit frustrating in its one pedalness that you have to put it into
You have to go ding ding
iDrive every time.
Ding ding. That's what it does.
Okay, how would it be to own? Ioniq 6 got a 10-year warranty. You also have a great charging network,
Yeah.
but it's still no Tesla charging
But
network.
does Hyundai really honor that 10-year warranty?
Sure.
I've heard they don't.
For the original owner, they
The
do.
original
but that's
owner.
it.
Really?
If you
I don't
sell it, it's not.
Yeah, then it's 6 years.
Yeah.
Ford theoretically will have worked through more of the Bronco issues.
Never forget Bronco jail. Real. Couldn't drive Bronco because my ears were bleeding from the wind and tire noise.
That is a big problem with the Bronco. Is it's just too loud.
I think
inside.
living with it would be terrible. As like a second car, like a 2-car solution, having a Bronco as a fun car, like a manual 2-door or something.
So like a Bronco and an Ioniq 6.
Yeah.
All right, you're the family man of us.
Here's the thing. I have many cars at this point. I have an S2000, a BRZ, a Civic Type R. I want something that's like truck-like that can go off-road and tow. The Bronco, honestly, if I'm being honest, is the one-car solution that would be like perfect daily driver because I get it in manual. It's a convertible. It can go off-road. It's fun to drive like a sports car. It's good in the winter. It literally does everything. It can fit my kids in the back. I can put a mountain bike on the tow hitch. I can't take it to a track day, but whatever.
Then why did you order a different Ford?
Well, because Raptor things.
and wife can drive it.
And my wife can drive it. Yeah, because if I got a Bronco, I'd have to get a manual.
Yeah.
But if I get a Ranger Raptor, then it's no manual.
So I don't want to have to try to convince you guys of this. I just want to at least make sure the Ioniq 6 is getting a fair wag. I mean, is there not an argument? Is it because you guys
Also-
haven't spent a lot of time with it? Like,
I mean,
was it just fine?
we've just chosen the EV6, which is a better Ioniq 6, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, that's valid.
So I think we should go Bronco.
You agree with that, Chris?
Yeah, seating position's kind of high in the Ioniq 6 too.
It
It
is.
feels like you're driving a van.
Okay. Well, you know I'm a big Econoline fan. Also, the heat just turned on.
Yeah, it's toasty.
Yeah, it's like actually 90
Might have to
degrees
start
in here.
taking it off.
Daily Motor at night.
I was hot last year. I remember complaining about how hot
it
it was.
cycles on and off here. I think people leave the front door open and then it hits the
Oh right.
the thermostat. And
Yeah. I'm gonna strip anyway.
okay. 7 Series. By the way, there's more beer here if you want one, Chris. 7 Series versus the Toyota Grand Highlander.
The 7 Series.
I gotta go Grand Highlander. The 7 Series is really. We loved that car. We really did.
The thing
didn't
about
we?
the 7 Series is that it's a bit of a revolution
It is.
in that segment, and the Grand Highlander is it's just kind of an evolution of the Highlander.
No. It's a totally different car.
The 7
It's
Series. The
same
7
better.
Series has been in the shadow of the S-Class literally since it came out, and I think for the first time ever, they've given a big middle finger to Mercedes, gone ahead of them not only with the ICE car, but also making their EV in line and better than the stupid EQS.
You're right.
EQS is so bad.
Yeah,
I'd say 7 Series.
yeah, definitely.
The Grand Highlander is great.
See, I'll let you guys convince me when you propose a good argument. That's fair because BMW went all out with the
They
7
did.
Series. Even that two-tone paint that cost like
Yeah.
12 grand.
Yeah.
They still did it. No
Yeah.
one cares about the S-Class
It
anymore.
looks like a bad Rolls Royce and Ford Taurus had a baby, but that's okay.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, it does.
To quote Chris and I, it's better to be ugly than to be boring. And the S-Class is boring. The 7 Series is ugly.
Yeah.
And look
true.
which one is making it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Grand Highlander is very good, and it could have gone all the
It
way
is,
in my
yeah,
list.
it's
But
good.
Accord versus Volvo S60.
The Volvo.
Now,
The Volvo.
we know.
What A said.
Here we go. He's gonna sell the Accord to us.
I'm just.
They should have made a fast Accord. They didn't.
Can
They
we
could've.
point out?
There
Volvo
was a
makes a
lot of
fast
that,
Volvo.
yeah.
Not Jack. Mark over at Savage Geese had an XC90, and he said it was horrendous for reliability.
Yeah, but that's just one vehicle. I know so many other people who have had Volvos and
New Volvos? New
yeah,
current
Volvos, and
current
they've been
ones?
Fine, yeah.
Okay. Now, you've considered an XC90 a few times.
Yeah.
And you haven't been turned off by the fact that it could be broken all the time?
I mean, it's been out for a while. They have an excellent used warranty. Their warranty is really good for their CPO cars.
Going against my own argument here, I did get a check engine light with the S60 this year.
Well,
But I also made an Instagram post with the S60, and I don't do that very often. But it was such a
The
cool looking car.
S60
The
is
black
lovely. And you
edition
know
we
what?
had
Yeah, no, and
was so cool.
it added some excitement to my week. I was driving down Washtenaw, check engine light came on, and I was like, wow, the car's still driving fine, so I'm just going to keep driving. And I just turned up the Bowers and Wilkins and forgot about it.
That sound system is so good.
yeah, 60
Nothing beats it. That car, how much was that car? Like 60 grand?
Yeah.
58,000. There is nothing else at that price point that has that good of a sound system. There's 0 other cars for 60 grand.
No, you're right.
And the Volvo's plug-in, and also I think the S60 is the cheapest
Oh,
way
and
to
it
get
gets
into
like
a plug-in hybrid.
It's like 40 miles of
Volvo.
electric
Well,
range.
oh, for Volvo. Yeah,
for
yeah.
Volvo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like 20 grand less than everything else they make.
So I like the Accord, but the one I had with the 1.5 liter did have a rubber steering wheel.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
No
remember
car that's
those.
available with a
Super
rubber
base
steering
model.
wheel should
Should
ever
be.
win car of the year.
All right, that's it. Honda, you know how to fix this.
Yeah, put a leather steering wheel on it and we'll give it to you next year.
You have them. Put them
Was that
in.
an Accord Sport or something?
EX.
EX, okay.
The Sport would probably have leather.
But I will. Last thing about the Accord, I will point out it got like 45 mpg on the highway, and I got it from the airport. Put my entire checked bag and my other bag and my backpack all in the trunk, and there was so much space.
Yep.
Shouldn't be overlooked. Accord. CX-5 CRV. I love the CX-5, and every time I drive a compact crossover, I go back to the build configurators of all of them, and I realize how cheap the CX-5 is. You can still get it with an NA motor, with a 6-speed manual, automatic, 6-speed automatic, and it's like 27 grand for one with like heated seats.
It's fun to drive too.
And it's fun to drive, and it looks the part.
Yeah, you get the turbo signature all-wheel drive, and it feels
If
like
you
a
want.
budget Macan.
And even that one's
Yeah.
only like $36,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
The CRV is good, but you can't get ventilated seats. And what was the other problem with it? I don't know. It's good, but it's
It's available with a rubber steering wheel.
you also can't get a naturally
Although I
aspirated
suppose
motor.
the
I don't think.
CX-5 probably is too.
You think they put a rubber steering wheel on the CX-5?
They may not. I know the base model CX-30 has a rubber steering wheel. Yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
I would go see. Oh wait, which Chris? Hit that
The
Chris.
CX-5 is so recommendable.
Yeah.
The,
I've sold like 3 of them
Yeah.
to my
Yeah.
friends.
They're really good. Mazda's killing it.
It's the oldest car to make it into the
It
Road
really
of
is.
Eight, probably.
It's so old, but it's
like-
so good.
Yeah.
I actually, I kind of like. There's some things I like about the CX-5 more than the CX-50.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind
CX-5
of like
all
that
day.
perfect right size. It just does everything well. You can take it off road,
Mm-hmm.
great on road. It's fuel efficient. It does it all.
Subaru Crosstrek, Chevy Silverado. What were some of the things I didn't like about that Silverado?
It was 70 grand.
Expensive.
Well, the one we had was
80
probably
grand.
like 100 grand because it was the Duramax diesel.
Oh, the 2500.
The Crosstrek is such good value. Yeah. Is the Silverado still good value?
No,
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 it's-
1500 series.
It's the
trucks
same as
are.
every other 1500 series
Yeah.
truck.
None of them are good value.
The only one that's good value is the Nissan because it's being axed.
Yeah. They're all so
Is
expensive.
the Titan done after 23?
24.
Oh, okay, so we got one more year to get a hideous yellow Cummins Nissan truck.
I think the Cummins has been dead for a while, but
Oh,
they.
is it? Okay.
Yeah. I think the Silverado's good. I think the interior's a good markup, but the problem with GMs is the more time you spend in them, the veneer kind of wears off, and you realize, oh, I'm still kind of cost cutting in here.
Yeah.
Whereas that Crosstrek was like 31 grand, the one I had, and I was like, I just like this car.
I drove
I would want to own it.
a $93,000 Silverado 2500 diesel with a plastic interior that was no
Yeah.
nicer than a Subaru Crosstreks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that says it right
Yep.
there. I will point out though, with the Subaru, there is some questionability about Subaru's reliability.
Yeah, just change your CVT fluid and don't flog it everywhere. You'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Don't try and keep up with Chris and his BRZ on entrance range.
That's right. Though the all-terrain versus all-terrain battle was pretty
That was
awesome.
hilarious.
Yeah,
I
we
was
had,
like
equal
squealing tire the
levels
whole
of grip.
Yeah.
Okay, we have it now. We are to a round of 8.
Elite 8.
For the We Loved Them, the Lamborghini Huracan, the Kia EV6, the BRZ and GR86, the Ford Bronco, again.
Gonna take a quick break here.
Yep.
Good.
The 7 Series from BMW, the Volvo S60, and the CX-5 and the Subaru Crosstrek. These are all fantastic cars.
They
guys.
are really great cars.
I-
Yeah.
this is the thing that always breaks my heart about this show is that we have to say goodbye to some of these because
Oh, why did the 7 Series and the S60 should have been the final two because those were the best cars of the year.
I really like all these. Okay.
Anyways, we can catch up on chat for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kirk, thanks for hanging out this whole time
Yeah,
with
yeah,
us. S-Class is just a big C-Class now. Yeah, the C-Class is honestly like...
You
For-
liked that car.
I liked the C-Class a lot, and, even design cues aside, you get a lot of what you get in... I mean, Mercedes are kind of just, corporate interior. It's all kind of just the same. Camaro deserves honorable mention since it's dying. Yeah, 24 is the last model year for Camaro. I think they're doing like a special edition. I still never driven a Camaro. I don't think.
You've ridden in one.
Oh no, I've driven a Camaro. I drove the Camaro SS convertible.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with me.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that car. It was manual. That was fun.
Somebody said Honda powertrains are so meh. They are, but their driving dynamics make up.
You know
for
what
it.
though? Not the V6 in the Passport. That's a great engine and it's got some character to it.
Didn't you have a Ridgeline like this week or something like that?
We had a Passport
You had a
Trail
Passport.
Sport. We had a Ridgeline like 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
I had the same engine.
2022.
It only had like 2,000 miles on it, so it's just been sitting around for 2 years. I don't know. It was weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. Don't let the Silverado win. Well, it won't because we've got rid of it. How are y'all doing? Good. How are you doing, Sly? S60 or EV6 for the win. Had to switch to another account. I realized Charlie.
Yeah, Bradley, that's weird. I'll have to take a look at that some point when we are not streaming. Sorry about that. It's possible if there were any things that were obnoxious in like previous live streams throughout the years, then things could have been blocked.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we just didn't have time to be like, oh, can you let
Oh
me?
dear. Yeah. Well, let me go get him.
Okay. Let's move over here. Oh, he's putting in the code. Alrighty, our last two. Want to buy category. You'll notice that in one of these, Chris is hugging one of the cars.
Which one? Oh, the Volvo?
The
Hey,
Volvo
it's Emily's
S60,
CX-30.
the Subaru Crosstrek, Alyssa's Chevy Bolt UV, and the Mazda CX-30 from Emily. The Emily CX-30. Yeah.
I'd pick the Volvo.
But I mean, realistically, if you were cut off from press cars and someone destroyed all of your personal cars today,
The Volvo.
you'd pony up the money for the Volvo?
Yes.
I'd pick the CX-30 out of all these. Living where I do now, I'd pick the Crosstrek. If I lived in Michigan, I'd pick the CX-30.
I'd get a Crosstrek.
Yeah.
I'd pick the Volvo.
Well, I picked the CX-30 only because you've purchased one and Emily purchased one, which is empirically good data.
Yeah.
Yeah,
CX-30.
It's pretty good.
That's a great car. I still haven't driven it. I haven't driven that car yet.
Well, you've
so
sworn off of
lovable.
driving any of Emily's cars.
I know, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
What's that?
cursed,
It's
so.
so lovable.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's funny. Both Emily and Charlotte would come back from driving their car and just start raving about it. They've never done that about any other car.
No.
Yeah,
Emily will literally call me.
Yeah.
She'll call me on her way to work, and she'll be like, I just love this car.
Charlotte did the exact same thing.
Yeah. I told Emily about that, and she thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's a fantastic car. I called Mazda's PR agent the first time I drove one. This is a great car.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, my daughter bought one. It's great.
The CX-30 just makes you want to call people and tell them how great it is.
Yeah.
And the last category, every year, here we have it, the most desirable car. Now, this
There's 4 great cars.
is different than the best car of the year because this doesn't have to factor in realistic. Like the last one we just saw, want to buy, that's like, okay, we would actually want to, purchase it and spend the money on it. This is just money, no option. What did we drive this year? What would we have? Minus the Wrangler 392 because I didn't drive it this year. Lamborghini Huracan, Maserati MC20, Porsche GT4 RS, and the BMW Z4.
Probably
There you go,
Porsche.
Chris.
Thank you
It
for
is
that
the
one.
Porsche GT4
Being so
RS,
polite to
which
me,
it is
thank
not yours. I get that, but
Pretty desirable.
It is pretty
Money,
desirable.
no object.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least you look like less of a knob driving this than you would in the Lamborghini.
Definitely.
Because everyone thinks
You look like a knob in both, but yes, I agree.
because everyone thinks you don't know what you're doing in a Huracan. Whereas if you saw someone driving a GT4 RS, you'd go,
That's true.
I
Good
would
choice,
trust
sir.
a GT4 RS on a track day more than a Lamborghini.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What I forgot
How-
what color that GT4. Like I know it's obviously yellow, but what color yellow was it? I don't know. Anyways.
However, Lamborghini has trusted you with a Huracan on track, and they have not. Porsche has not trusted you with a car of theirs on there.
That's because Porsche has to come out and scout for 3 days before we can go out.
Yeah, they have to inspect your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Whereas Lamborghini was like, hey, you should come out to our track event.
Or
with a Huracan."
then there's McLaren that's like, send us pictures of it drifting.
McLaren, yeah. It's a shame that McLaren didn't get us anything this year because it would certainly
Yeah.
be on here.
Yeah, they're like,
Where's
if,
the Arturo?
if you drift it, make sure you warm the tires up first because if they don't, they'll delaminate. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's a good point.
I've heard that the 750 is
Oh yeah, are we getting
like the
that?
best
Kiss.
car.
Are we getting
Cool.
that next year?
I asked for it in February, but it's still on its way over from Europe.
Oh, hopefully
So-
the boat doesn't become
Yeah.
to the bottom of the ocean.
We also may have our first Ferrari in the mix.
I
next
know.
year,
I'm
too.
so excited about that. The blue one.
I don't know anything
Oh.
about the Ferrari lineup, but
Neither do I.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I know less than nothing about Ferraris. So
Right.
I'll have
Well,
to,
we're gonna have to get learnt, kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, boys. It's 9:03. We've got a whole hour to deliberate about these.
Oh,
gotta hurry up.
racing yellow.
It's
Thank
past
you.
my bedtime.
Chris is gonna get grumpy. All right. Lamborghini Huracan versus the Kia EV6. We're the first YouTube channel to ever have this discussion.
Wait, what is it? Oh, Huracan versus EV6. They're
All
both
right,
great.
let's think. What are the problems with both? The EV6 has an Econoline steering wheel. Lamborghini costs a lot of money.
Everyone should own a Huracan.
See, I
Everyone
wasn't
does own a
as
Huracan.
enamored by the Huracan as you were. You put that thing in your title or whatever. Like, this might be my favorite supercar ever. I liked the 720S better than the Huracan.
Good night, Kirk. Versa.
Oh, is Kirk out?
Yeah, he says heading to bed.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you
never
for joining
Versa
us.
for the win.
Kirk has like 4 children, so it's his bedtime.
Yeah, it's true. Soon to be 5.
Or is it soon to be 4?
Soon to be 5.
Oh, is it soon to be 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You liked the Huracan more than the 720S?
Yeah.
You were driving the best Huracan.
And it was a
I think,
Rancio
though, like,
Borealis.
every Huracan that I've driven though has been awesome.
Yeah,
Like, even
that
back
is
to
true.
that like 2015 that we had in LA, and it's it's old now, but yeah, it's still really good.
PR33TU points out the V10 is amazing.
Yeah.
Have either of you driven an Aventador?
No.
Yeah.
driven
Aventador
an
has the
Aventador?
same drama and excitement. Like, it feels like a proper supercar.
When did you drive an Aventador? Which
I
one?
drove Docta M3's Aventador.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an FSVJ, but it was like a
SV.
special edition, something else. Green, awesome, epic. It was great. It was really
Cool.
good.
Do you have a video on it? Did you film it?
I do for Winding Road.
You do? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that.
Yep. So much fun.
So Kia EV6, obviously
Hey, Aiden, what's
GT
up?
new this year. Fun on track. Like, you could actually like toss it and wring its neck a little bit.
But you can only do one drift before the tires laminate because it weighs 5,000
That did
pounds.
happen, and it's audible. Clunk. Off.
Yeah, I managed to
tire.
get a few videos in on it. I mean, I want to give it to the EV6, but I'll hear your arguments.
EV6 is so affordable. Like, I looked at used ones the other day. Get an EV6 with like 5,000 miles on it for like 10, 15 off sticker.
That's every EV right now. You can have a Taycan for like 58,000.
Yeah, they've dropped so much.
What do you think, Bauer?
As
I
use,
think
like,
about the Huracan more than I think about the EV6.
do we pick dream car? Yeah. When people ask me this year, what's your favorite car you drove all year? I'm like, Huracan STO.
I think the problem was all the Huracans I drove were gray and white, and you guys drove an orange one, so it's sticking in my mind.
A Rancio Borealis, Charlie.
Orange. All right. Well, what would it be like to own? Huracan would be pretty cool because it's a Huracan. EV6 would be very easy to love. I just love the packaging of the EV6.
It's good packaging.
The fact that it kind of drives like a car, but
But
also has the usability of
you
like
know
a
what?
Chris.
Next year, though,
You can drift an EV6 more than you can drift a Huracan.
I don't know. I didn't try drifting the Huracan. If I tried,
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure I could.
That's the
exactly.
problem.
There, so you can drift
Mhm.
the EV6.
Well,
Worry free.
EV6 did have a lot of body roll. Like, it was really squishy for the amount of.
The body
performance
roll's
it
not
had.
necessarily a bad thing.
The GT did.
The GT did.
Mm. I don't think I drove that on track because the tire
Yeah.
killed itself before I had a chance.
You deserve some good track time next
I
year.
know. I've been screwed out of the last
Yeah,
2 track days.
Yeah.
I don't know. You like usually don't choose to drive very much.
Well, you didn't have a choice.
I didn't
this
have a
year.
choice the last
This year,
one, and
yeah,
I
that's
didn't. I couldn't drive the EV6 the time before,
Yeah.
so I drove the M4 CSL. That was it.
All right. Well, what would they be like?
Rock paper scissors.
No. Let's think a little bit about how well do they perform their mission? I think EV6 is a fantastic EV.
Lamborghini performs its mission very well. Every TikToker that wants a Lamborghini has a Huracan.
But do you think that's a bad thing?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, because Lamborghini is the quintessential poster car.
Yeah. And they still do. They've been around
they
for a
do
while.
it
And they
really
still do
well.
look really,
Yeah.
really good. And then how are they to drive? They're both
Chris,
the EVs.
the STO. You said it looked like a Forza race car with no livery.
It does. Yeah.
That is true. I will say the EV6 is a bit frustrating sometimes with both its controls for the climate
those
control.
are very annoying. However, the
yeah.
Lamborghini infotainment is unusable.
Yeah, and the you can't adjust
It's
the volume.
unusable. Nothing works.
Yeah,
I
you always have to do different things to achieve the same result.
I couldn't get anything to work with that infotainment.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But who cares?
I couldn't even
V10.
I couldn't even pair my phone to it. It was that bad.
So you don't have a choice either way.
I don't care. I like both cars.
Are we rock paper scissoring, Chris, or do you have an argument for one way or the other?
I'd love to go Huracan just because it's cool.
What would it be up against then? Against the BRZ or Bronco?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, let's advance the Huracan.
All right.
I vote Huracan.
All right, we're doing it.
This is Lamborghini has never made it this far in anything.
I don't think we've driven Lamborghinis before this.
Well, no, but it's just like the vibe of a car like a Lamborghini is.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's fair. That's a good point, actually. All right. Now this one's interesting because
This is a big.
this is a
crisp
big
one.
Amos category. Yeah.
BRZ.
You know me. I'm not gonna pick the Bronco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with BRZ.
All right. Next, this is a Brower and I were pointing out.
I
we
hate
hate having to do
because
this.
I'm obsessed with both of these cars. So
All right. How are they to drive? The 7 Series is remarkably serene,
and also,
but I did not want to give this S60 back.
The
Which would you rather be seen in?
The S60.
The Volvo,
Same.
but the 7 Series is such a big step for
It
coming
is
from
monumental.
coming from the G11, which felt like a 2010.
But does it matter?
But
Our
the problem-
sedans.
The problem with that step is as soon as you step out of it, you have to look at it.
And brushing up on the dad jokes. Also, the power doors are irritating.
But
yeah, they don't
they're
work
also power doors.
Yeah, it's
And
cool.
who's doing power doors?
They're
these
really
days?
annoying though, and stupid drive modes too.
You mastered the power doors with your voice. You literally opened the doors for
Yeah,
us.
I know.
Hans Zimmer.
And
Hans
Hans
Zimmer
Zimmer
noises.
in the i7.
But Bowers and Wilkins, they both have S-tier sound systems, but one is half the price of the other. I also think the Volvo is one of the best looking cars. I think it's the best looking car that we have in the Final 8. Out of the CX-5,
Oh, yeah.
Crosstrek, even better than looking than the Huracan. I think the S60 is so good looking.
yeah, it's like polite corporate, good proportions.
How's the trunk space in the S60?
I think it was pretty good. The plug-in hybrid sacrificed some room, but I think that was
Battery.
I think
yeah.
I'd go S60. I agree with you that 7 Series is huge for BMW.
yeah.
The problem with the 7 Series is they made it so good, they made it so ugly. They could have made it a good-looking car, and they just chose to do the opposite.
I know.
Like they purposefully made it look the way it did.
It's to arrive.
Also, you and I pointed out when we had the 7 Series that how many times is that going to be at the dealership in the next 2 years?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah, for
also
Everything is powered and everything is brand new.
the both of them at one day will be $2,000. We know that. We know
Yeah.
that for the Volvo. We know that.
Every Volvo, every BMW, $3,000.
Yeah.
One day. So
That's right.
yeah.
Sorry.
And the
BMW.
7 Series, especially the new 7 Series, more than any other 7 Series before, is only made for the first owner. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that car is made for the first 3 years.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
Emily just texted me. She made a good point. S60 is quiet luxury in the way that you see somebody in a 7 Series and you see somebody in an S60. I bet the person driving the S60 is richer than the person driving the 7 Series.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now this one is probably even more difficult for me. CX-5 versus Crosstrek. I love the CX-5, but why hasn't it ever won Car of the Year? We drive them every year. Something is keeping the CX-5 out. What is it? Is it because it's too easy?
I think because it's too easy, and also it's good, but it's not revolutionary. Like there's nothing that necessarily.
I mean, I agree with you, but we had that Carbon Edition that just randomly showed up, right?
Yeah, I didn't love that one.
Why not?
I didn't like the NA powertrain that much.
What?
It was kind of like buzzy. I like the turbo motor. It just gobs of torque.
I think Subaru made some big improvements to the Crosstrek this year, mostly with wind noise, NVH. It's a really nice car to drive, and that deserves some
Even the Wilderness,
credit. Yeah, the
sitting
Wilderness was
up
awesome.
as far as it did,
Yep.
it wasn't too loud.
The Crosstrek has more room in it than the CX-30, doesn't it?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, yeah, big time.
definitely.
Crosstrek almost has as much space in it as the CX-5.
which is funny because when in my review I compared it kind of to a RAV4 and I got roasted for it, but I do really feel like it's almost compact crossover.
It is compact. It's a big hatchback.
Oh, that's
I think we
so
got to go
real.
cross-track.
I think so.
Why the LCI 3 Series added 4 feet of black plastic to the rear bumper and the front bumper. Yeah, I agree.
Ladies,
Weird thing.
gentlemen, we have our final 4.
Oh, do we already? Wow.
Yep.
It only took 2 hours and 13 minutes.
It always takes long. I don't know why you guys are surprised by this. The Lamborghini Huracan,
This is so funny.
the Toyota
Toyota BRZ.
BRZ, the Volvo S60, and the Subaru Crosstrek. All fairly small
such
cars.
An exotic group
Yeah.
of vehicles.
Okay. Well, here we go. Audience,
This is hard.
Who do you
They're all
think?
so good.
what do you think
They're
should
all
make it?
winners, and they should never forget it.
All right, so let's just take a little reflection and enjoy this moment for a minute. Huracans we drove probably about $300,000. GR86s, BRZs, you own one. You've made it very cool and fun. Done a lot of videos.
The thing I like about the BRZs, you can make it whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it's a very blank canvas. S60, arguably one of my favorite cars to just have and be in and spend time in of the entire year.
Whenever the email comes through and you see
Volvo.
arriving Volvo, oh, it's just the best feeling because Volvos are just the best to live with. I love Volvos so much.
And I feel like the S60 kind of represents all of Volvo because all Volvos drive exactly the same.
That's true.
It's just the whole Volvo line.
Chris has taught me a lot of things about Volvos. For one, they all drive the same, and 2, in 10 years, they're all worth $2,000.
Yeah. And then the Crosstrek we've talked about a little bit, but can I also point out something I just realized? 2 Subarus in the final 4. And we
Oh my goodness.
usually, I don't want to say hate, but we have talked
There's
mad shit about Subaru.
some of them are very terrible.
Yeah.
I would rather have a BRZ than a Crosstrek.
Well, don't jump the gun, Chris. Gosh,
I'd
darn
rather
it.
have an S60 than any of those cars. Maybe not the Lamborghini.
Okay, but jokes aside,
Alright,
Chris.
let's not jump any guns.
But you already broke the seal. If you were someone who were in your position but didn't get to drive all the cars you did and didn't get to have all the garage space and the money and everything like that, wouldn't you have to go Subaru to like take your family in it and like go to work and stuff?
No, because I have press cars.
The Volvo does have buttons. It's got a volume knob, too.
Faced with
Well,
the
here's the
reality
thing.
of like middle America, the Crosstrek is a really good argument.
But here's the thing. The BRZ is the do-it-all sports car for most people. Let's say you have kids. I can put my son in his rear-facing child seat in the back. Can't put a passenger in front of him. But but once forward-facing child seats happen, you can fit 2 kids in the back of the BRZ easily.
All right, well let's
Practically, it's like a very usable sports car.
let's dive in. The Lamborghini Huracan versus the Toyota GR86 and the Subaru BRZ. I don't like the motor of the GR86 and BRZ. I love the motor of the Huracan.
Yeah, but it's $300,000 or $400,000.
It's 10 times more.
I think at this point, the price should probably disqualify the Huracan, and the fact that it's been out forever.
Where was this attitude with
so
the
has
Kia?
BRZ.
You think it gets to make it? Because EV6 versus GR86 BRZ would be a pretty good argument, but it's over. It's done. I get it. You gotta be consistent. This is like when Amos last year all of a sudden turned on the Volvo V60 after it had
I
made it to the
know.
Final Four
Yeah,
and
I
started
know.
talking mad shit.
He's
he should
so
get kicked out.
close.
He
to
gets
his
tired once the Final Four comes around, and then he doesn't want anything to do with it.
He's close to his master plan of having his car win because it's close.
I've already made my decision.
Yeah. I mean, Brower, do you have any argument for why Huracan should beat GR86?
No, no, I don't.
It's really
everyone
cool.
should own
It's
both.
good.
Here's everyone should have both.
There you go. Advice from the Topher top tip: 2-car solution is a BRZ and a Lamborghini Huracan.
The nice thing about the BRZ GR86 though is over the Huracan is that you don't have to worry about it as much
That's fair. And you can get.
because it's a tenth of the price.
Here's an argument for the Huracan. They're giving you the Sterrato, whereas Subaru will not give you a Wilderness BRZ yet.
Yeah.
So, point to the Lambo. Pittsburgh man is right though. The Kia should have been there. All right, we're going BRZ, and I hate that this car has made it to the final. I hate that in 2023.
It's like a 4-year-old car.
Yeah.
It's brand new. They changed everything in 2022. They added a 0.4 liters.
Okay.
And
This
bonus.
one matters more. S60, Subaru Crosstrek.
The Volvo.
Here's the thing.
I love the S60. I really like the Crosstrek. I would go S60.
Yeah, I'd go S60 also.
How often are you recommending cars to somebody and the answer is Crosstrek versus S60?
Never.
You know?
The answer is neither, because I would just recommend a Mazda CX-30.
CX-30 is too small for a lot of people. Crosstrek is just large enough that you could have a family and actually like have the Crosstrek be your one. You could have a Crosstrek for camping, daily driving, and doing off-roading stuff, and also just being a commuter.
It does do everything.
It does it all. You got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto,
They
right?
both have like kind of dumb infotainments that require.
Actually, yeah, both cars have shoddy. Although the Volvo one has gotten a lot better.
So is a
Like
Subaru.
last year. Yeah, you got a little bit better. It doesn't drop CarPlay anymore, but why did it ever drop CarPlay to begin with?
Does the Crosstrek have physical volume or climate controls?
Yeah,
half and
physical up,
half.
down.
Whereas the
only
Volvo
temperature.
doesn't. The Volvo does not.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess only defrost. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Volvo's twice the price of the Crosstrek.
No, because you can. The Volvo S60 starts at like mid 40s.
Oh, really? That's right. Okay.
Because you can get just a
It is
basic
the
2-liter
most-
turbo.
It's one of the most affordable, like, nicer Volvos. Besides the 40.
How did we pick? Well, the Subaru is the only new car for this year. All right.
Are we really gonna let there be two Subarus? To oh my god.
He's got a point. Let's see what some of the commenters have. Crosstrek's 2 NPC.
Well,
It can't be Subaru versus Subaru. Crosstrek comes in a manual. Can you still get the manual?
No.
No, I didn't think so. I've never recommended a Crosstrek unless it's okay. Fair.
I was waiting for you to read that.
Pretty much every Volvo I've ever had has been reliable except the Notorious XC90. Crosstrek is bad MPG.
Volvos are like one of those things, like either you get it or you don't. Like you drive a Volvo and you understand like all of the little Volvo things, like the different materials they use, like the wool, the cloth, the little pressure piece in the dashboard that can expand and contract as it heats up and cools down, the super light steering, the super quick steering rack, the amazing sound system, like all of the things that no other manufacturer does. I mean, Volvo is just like, it's so behind the scenes. Like nobody really recognizes Volvo, I feel like, and I think it's a shame. At least in America. I mean, you know.
I really like the Crosstrek, but I will point out I can come up with fewer reasons not to buy the S60 than I can come up with reasons not to buy the Subaru. Because the Subaru's got a lot of competition and questionable reliability, especially for a Japanese car.
neither of them let you drift.
Emily says the Volvo comes with a crystal shifter. So that's a thing.
The Volvo's got character.
Yeah.
Volvo's got character.
Okay. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the top 2 cars from Daily Motor in 2023.
Such an Amos-based final 2.
We
My
are his
mom
disciples.
Just sold her Volvo S60 this year.
Should have been a Lexus in the finals here. Ah, yes.
Thank you for recognizing my S60 slam poetry.
All right. So
Man.
we have the 2023. I also don't like the idea of giving it to 2 different manufacturers, but whatever. Toyota GR86 and the Subaru BRZ. You can get it an automatic and a manual, one engine option. It does have to be mended from the factory because they could have made that fake sound be disableable
Takes
by
30
button,
seconds.
but they didn't.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they didn't just allow you to do that. Some
Sounds terrible.
manufacturers do that.
This chair is the worst thing ever.
Well, we're almost done, Chris. Okay.
I've sat through all the padding on the chair.
Wait, didn't the S60 almost win last year?
V60.
V60.
And then you killed it.
Oh, I'm voting BRZ because it's the best car ever. But
All right.
it says a lot for Volvo.
What are they both like to drive? You get in the BRZ, and it starts right up. It's very visceral. You feel it kind of vibrate. You can rev it up a little bit. You get the pretty good manual transmission. Rear-wheel drive, so easy to drift.
Yeah.
That car drifts immediately, which is now I'm realizing why Chris brought it all the way to 1 is because of the
People
driftability.
love drifting.
Amazing driving, like amazing teaching car.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like you can do autocross track days, winter driving. Like it's just such an easy, fluid car to push to the limits.
Okay, so that's driving the BRZ.
Yep.
You get in the S60 and you step in, and first of all, beautiful, in and out, proxy key. You twist a little thing, it starts up. You either have the plug-in hybrid with good amount of range, or you just have the basic motor, which admittedly we haven't spent much time in, but they are all hybrids now. And you simply drive away, and you presumably put the sound system on. That is the one thing. The BRZ sound systems are terrible.
Yeah, they're not great, but
It's dreadful.
Whereas all the Volvo ones are good.
Is the bass one any good?
I think it's decent.
The Harman Kardon's probably fine, but the Bowers and Wilkins is just on another level.
Okay, so they're both going to be nice to drive in different ways. What would they be like to own? Subaru and the Toyota, very easy to take to dealers. They're all over the place. You can do a lot of maintenance on your own, right? Fairly easy to work on.
I look forward. Oh yeah, they're so easy to work on. I look forward to driving my BRZ every time I look at it and like get in it. I think it enhances and makes every drive more enjoyable.
Okay. What would it be like to own the Volvo? You would, again, we've talked about, you were like stealth wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Dealer experience would be good.
you're right. You go to the dealer and you're not gonna have to deal with like RAV4 owners and things like that out there, or Ascent owners, or Tribeca
Outback
owners.
Wilderness. Ooh, Ascent.
Yeah.
People towing a camper with a CVT. I want to be with them.
However, I do question the reliability a little bit more on the Volvo. But at least you'd have a good loaner car.
You would. You'd have a great loaner car. You
Oh,
probably
yeah,
have
you
like
could get a Subaru Legacy as a loaner car for the BRZ, but I don't know if it'd ever really break down.
Yeah.
I liked the Legacy.
Oh man, should I call Tedward?
I did. I honestly.
We might need to get his input on this one. But he's probably never driven the Volvo.
No.
The BRZ is one of the only sports cars that you can take on a road trip and it doesn't beat you up, like a Miata beats you up. You can drive in the winter, puts its power down well. Anyway, I'm gonna stop because you guys know what I'm saying.
His
all
mind
right.
is
All
made
my
up.
cards are on the table.
His mind's been made up for 2 years.
No.
How well do they excel on their mission? I do admit the GR86 and BRZ are like so just sports car that they gave up everything else to be a good sports car. And I appreciate them for that. However, I do also think that the S60 is so good at being an S60 that, I mean, it's so comfortable. It's so just quiet, and it's got its quirks, but it's almost better for those quirks.
Mm-hmm.
Infotainment, there's some like glitchy infotainment things with the S60.
Don't you have wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in the BRZ?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Subaru infotainment is
It's also
not great.
wired in the Volvo, though, right?
Yes, it is. Is the newest one? The newest one might have wireless.
Okay.
For 24,
Okay.
because Volvo like updates their system every
They
year.
did just add CarPlay to the Volvos.
Yeah,
That's
they did
nice.
for 23.
Yeah.
It's funny.
For me, personally speaking, I understand we're trying to decide this as a team, but for me personally, whenever I'm done with the BRZ, I'm like, cool, that was fun. But I did not want to get rid of that Volvo.
That was
I
a sad
wished
day.
we could do something to make it so we didn't have to get
You
rid
probably have
of
to
it.
buy it, I think, would be the solution. Just go and purchase it.
And I wished I could justify like Alyssa and I buying an S60 instead of the Bolt that we did buy.
I mean, I always say if I like had to sell everything and buy like one day, like a daily driver, like one car solution, it would be a Volvo. If I had to buy a brand new car, because I adore Volvos. I love driving them.
Is there anything we can do to get you on Team S60?
No, I bought a BRZ and I'm voting BRZ. Gotta represent.
I don't like that we're not in agreement because I feel like all the other years we've gotten there,
Yeah.
but I don't think I can
what
go
was it
BRZ.
last year?
Thing
The
is-
Civic or the
Kona N.
Kona N and the Volvo V60.
Problem
No,
is,
because I think it was Bronco. I think it was
the
Kona N and Bronco.
Okay, right.
I don't know if the S60 would be the Volvo that I would buy. I would get V60.
See, I knew that was coming.
But the reason the V60 isn't as good is because the S60 has more powertrain options and is quieter and rides better. The V60 is echoey.
You have to have a.
That's
do
And you can't get the plug-in
You have
hybrid.
to have a cross country now,
But
or
it's
do they? Will they still?
That's only
sell
for the
you a-
90.
It's a cool wagon.
Oh, okay. I think the only non-cross country one they'll sell you now is the Polestar design thing.
For V.
Yeah, the V60.
Brower, are you Team S60?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Chris. I
It's
think
okay.
I think we got to do it.
I cast my vote.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best I could do.
I'm bummed that we're not unanimous, but I think, ladies and gentlemen, the best car you can buy in 2023 from Daily Motors, the Volvo S60. It really is. It covers just about every every part of the market.
Mm-hmm.
It's an everyman's car, but it's also a luxury car. It's also got good sound system, good tech. It's efficient.
It's like powertrain forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty good. And honestly, like, you could even get the Polestar version and like drive it hard.
Yeah, and have your teeth rattled out.
It's got adjustable
Are those,
dampers.
those
correct?
Olins, are they stiff?
They're Öhlins.
Yeah.
But you can adjust them. Although Kurt Kreifels was telling me that he had to jack his V60 up in the driveway in order to manually adjust
Yeah,
the
we
rear
did do
shocks.
that.
That is pretty dumb.
No mention of the CT4 Blackwing because we did not drive it this year.
Correct.
So, or else
Or
we
the
would have
It
mentioned
lost
it.
in previous years.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, it
driven
got
it,
pretty.
yeah.
Call Tedward up, get his input. The only reason I don't think we should call Tedward is I don't think he's driven any Volvos.
M340i is all of that. Yeah, when we
M340i
didn't drive one
is
this
good.
year. We
It's
didn't.
really
It,
good.
it wasn't one of the cars we drove this year.
Yeah, why did the M340i lose the plug-in hybrid version? It's just good. It just doesn't have the same je ne sais quoi like
Why wasn't
fizz.
Ultima on this list?
Oh yeah, what the heck, Charlie?
And we're going to be wrapping up the 2023 Daily Motor Best of the Year Awards. Thank you all so much to these two for coming and dealing with me, talking poorly about their choices. We all jokes aside, these top 4 cars quite good. I think the Crosstrek should win the most honorable mention, just for how good that car was, and like you and I would both consider buying one. I don't know about you.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, all good cars here up near the top. Any last things that what are you guys looking
We
for?
also drove. Did you have Miata this year?
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
The red LCI M340i was actually last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was last year.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, those were quite good.
Where was that this year?
Test Fest last year, probably.
No, but we had it here in Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, we did.
I don't think it was this year.
So it must have been late last
Wait,
year.
how
Maybe.
come- Was M2 on this list?
Yeah, it lost like first round.
Mhm. M2 got beat by the GT4 RS.
Oh yeah, that was a hard one. Okay.
Yeah.
M2 is like one of my most memorable.
Now I'm
drives
thinking,
this year.
when
Manual
did
or auto?
When did we have that red
I really
LCI?
like the auto.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had spent more time in the auto on the first drive, I probably would have liked the car more in
M2 is
general.
maybe like one of the biggest surprises.
Yeah. What are you guys looking forward to next year?
Cars.
Yeah.
Ranger
I know-
Raptor.
I know our brains are fried a little bit, but yeah, Ranger Raptor. New Tacoma.
Ioniq
I'm excited
5N.
for.
Yeah.
Ioniq 5N. Mustang. I haven't driven that yet. That's the only reason. It
Oh
was
yeah,
on
I
this
want to
list.
drive. I want to drive the Mustang GT because we've only driven the Dark Horse. Which
Yeah.
is a stupid 10-speed automatic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Although that car like launched my channel, so I can't say too many bad things about it.
We're being told we drove the red LCI. It's possible.
Yeah, I'm looking through my pictures to see when we had it because I know we had it on snow tires. So I don't know if that was late 20.
He said Chris drove it this year. Charlie drove it last year in the mountains.
I drove it in the mountains, on my channel,
Yeah,
and then I drove it.
I think
I drove it to Midland, but when
Oh.
was that?
it was this year.
Was it?
Yeah, it
Shoot.
was.
Sorry.
And it wouldn't have made
That was
it
a
anyway.
great car. I love the M340i, but I would rather drive the Volvo S60 daily and on a long trip because I was.
You and I
quite-
talked about
I
this
was
quite a
quite
lot.
fatigued
Mm-hmm.
because I took the M340i to Midland and back, and yes, it got me there very quickly at
Mhm.
major
Allegedly.
speeds allegedly, and also literally on an autobahn with no speed limit going 90. It was still getting like 28 mpg going
Yeah.
90. Like
Mhm.
it was insane. So-
Let's switch back over to the full screen here.
Actually, it may have been getting over 30. It was like
I remember it was
stupid.
quite good. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you drive an M340i at like 72, it'll get like 36 mpg.
Those BMW
wild.
powertrains are really impressive.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you all again.
That was fun.
Yeah, always
yeah.
is.
Oh no,
tuning
that's
in.
the GR. Oh, here it is.
Um,
It was in March of this year we had it.
Yeah. I I'm happy with S60. I think it's a little silly that like it's a car that wasn't new, because Civic was new and Kona N was new, but LC500 wasn't. And S60 is really good
And someone in the comments did say that would be super on brand for Daily Motor.
to pick an S60.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. No, it is very on brand and also fantastic sound system.
Yep.
So,
Coachella Valley was me.
and yeah, looking forward to next year, doing more fun things and driving more cars. And I think we should go jam out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Drive on.
Drive on.
That.
Play us out, SoundCloud band.
Do we still have, let me see here.
Which one was it? Let's just go through them.
I think someone's had it gone.